It is, isn't it? I'm always vaguely surprised when it actually goes live. Okay, hello, Crime Stoppers. Oh, look, 2 days in a row. It happens. It happens occasionally. Here is my list of 300. If you go on the other video, and I'll put it here too, you'll see that I actually did load the words up to my website, the PDF, and then I gave you the link. And so now there's a link, and it's just this PDF right here. And then print it out, and then go over the words. And then, as Patrick Devine says, at least you'll be in the right part of the dictionary. And then one word will lead to another word, and then you'll start to understand just how badly screwed we are. Anyway, oops. Let's see. Look, a postal receipt from some of the mailings I've done. I don't want to lose that. Okay, so much to talk about. We can talk about words. We can talk about data. We can talk about silver. We can talk about all kind of fun stuff. We can talk about the fact that this planet is abundant. You see this thing? Look how big this thing is. That's what is that? That's red hot Cajun spice, because I like a little spicy. Little lemon juice, right? Okay. This one avocado fed my boy. I couldn't even eat the whole thing, right? That was a meal. Just eat it off the avocado. Okay. If you plant avocado trees, you'll have avocados. If you plant banana trees, well, where you are, you probably can't plant avocado trees. I mean, banana trees. But you can probably plant avocados in much of California. I have a friend that has a farm where they plant avocado trees. Pears, peaches, apples, plant trees that give fruit. See, back in the day, one of the things that they wanted to do, and this is nefarious and sadly true, they know that you want to emulate, well, and when I say you, we, us, monkeys want to emulate the wealthy. So the wealthy, rather than growing food around their estates, they grew shrubs and tropicals and pretty plants and flowers and so forth that you can't eat, and many of which are poisonous, like oleander and others, but they sure make nice hedges and so on. Okay, why did they do that for? So that you guys, so that we don't grow food around our houses. Traditionally, in Hawaii, that's not true. Very common for there to be, like, I had a little place in Waihe'e where, let's see, there was taro patches in front of the house. There was always taro. Coconut trees, avocado trees, 3 mango trees, a lime tree, a lemon tree, an avocado tree, actually 2 avocado trees, a couple of coconuts, coconut plants or trees, a large patch of bananas, aloe vera was on that property. There's a guava tree on that property just because guavas are dime a dozen, but they didn't want to go hike to go get them. So there's this one type of guava that they liked that was this big white inside. So the pink guava was white inside. And so we had one of those trees on the property. Grapes were on the property. And then, of course, my grandmother always put in a garden with all kind of quote unquote haole food, and corn and beans and zucchinis and eggplants and tomatoes and stuff like that. Okay. The hand of man makes this planet abundant, unless you're dumb, right? But the hand of man is supposed to make, so that all this bullshit story that they've been telling you, and certainly they would never tell you bullshit stories to sell you something like this, right? They would never shut down an economy and put you out of work and so forth and drive black businesses into the ground. And not just black businesses. I mean, we know everybody suffered on this, and there's like restaurants that are never going to reopen again, sadly. Anyway, they just caused economic devastation. And what? See, because you were used to. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this bag of lemons and turn it into lemonade, right? We're going to turn our frown upside down. So maybe now you ain't got no job. Go plant some shit in your yard. Just saying. And plant the stuff that's appropriate for where you are, so that your own yard feeds you. And so what if you're on rental property? Then go ask. You're all on rental property. Ain't not a damn one of you own anything, and I can prove that. Just go look on your lease, or on your, not your lease, but your deed. The deed that they did was they fucked you, is what they did, and turned you into a tenant. And you signed everything, and now you maybe have woken up a little bit and realized that, yeah, And there's all kind of people that will show you how to get rid of that mortgage because that makes you a pay again. They love it. You pay again because it's already paid. But anyway, the point being is that ask your landlord, who thinks he's a landlord. Actually, he's a tenant with a tenant. If you can plant trees. And so what if you're not going to be there 10 years from now? That's stinking thinking. So put the trees in, right? On this property that I'm on now. If we would have planted trees 10 years ago, and I've been on Maui for 50 years or so, if everybody would have planted mango trees and avocado trees and put in bananas and coconuts and breadfruit is huge. Hawaiians talk about how many breadfruit trees have you planted? I planted many breadfruit trees in my lifetime. I planted a lot of taro in my lifetime. I planted coconut trees in my lifetime. But if everybody would just plant one coconut tree and one breadfruit tree, the Hawaiians would never have to go to the grocery store, and they can't have that. When I was a child, and it's not a joke, and I'm not saying I came up hard because I didn't came up hard. I came up freaking idyllic. I realized how idyllic my lifestyle was when I was a child. We used to go down to the ocean, throw a net, and I don't know, maybe an hour we'd swim back in, and literally this Mr. Kahali Kai would play ukulele or sing songs or tell stories and jokes or whatever, or maybe just take a nap. And then about an hour later, we'd go back and check the line, and there'd be fish there to eat. So why you got to go saw? Oh, well, no need go saw. So then they don't like that. Now you put net in the water, lay net, what we used to call it, right? And you can leave it overnight and come back, and there may or may not be fish in there. But I'm serious. When I was a boy, 1 hour was all you needed to go catch fish. All right. The point being is they don't want you self-sufficient. But if we had planted trees and made food forests on this island, Safeway wouldn't have anywhere near as much business because on this island we can grow stuff 365. Right? Where you are, not so much. And this is the other point of this because I've been goofing around being my troll self on the interwebs. And people don't seem to understand the future is cold. People go do the research, right? That the story. Have you not figured out by now that they're fucking lying to you about every fucking thing? If you see it on TV, it's probably a lie. And they can pay scientists all day long to lie. And I can tell you, and yeah, you chicken shit solar scientists that won't go against the grain because you know that you'll lose your funding and be called a conspiracy theorist and stuff like this. Your countrymen are now dying because of your fucking cowardice. Prepare because it's going to get colder. The weather and there's several solar scientists that have told you this. The weather that you're used to in Chicago is going to move all the way south to where Atlanta is now. Just get over yourselves. It's getting colder. This is a grand solar minimum. Oh, and I just found an article. Just because it's a grand solar minimum doesn't mean there isn't going to be global warming. Yes, it fucking does mean there isn't going to be global warming. They just fucking lie to you straight up now. Just lie to you and call them, they're sciencers. They're not science. It's not science because science enjoys debate. Science enjoys alternate hypothesis that can be either proven or disproven. Science enjoys questions. Science enjoys being turned on its ear if you have the mathematics to back you up. Sciencers, no question. The science is settled. You can't question us. Right? So all these people talking about how they believe in science, they don't even fucking know what science is. What they have is policy that supports their stupid opinions. They don't have science on their side, and they certainly don't have fucking mathematics on their side. But anyway, go take a look. Go do the research. Go Cult Sun. You can't afford the book because I think it's $900 on Amazon. But there was a German physicist that basically told you the sun is getting cold. We've got a grand solar minimum coming. We haven't had one. Well, actually, we're there. We're here. That's why Texas had a little problem there. That was enhanced by we can go down the conspiracy theory road, but that was enhanced by HARP and angels playing those harps. But the idea is that you need to prepare. So blaming other people, not sufficient anymore. You are supposed to be Americans, not U.S. persons. And Americans were always self-reliant, self-sufficient, known for that around the world, that we took care of our own. We took care of each other. And you wanted to go over there because we were so abundant that we had overflow. And we could take in immigrants and we could take in others that, right, and then get them up on their feet, and then they would add to the abundance. But that's not what they want. The first law of nature is abundance, my friends, and they do not want you being abundant. They want you being dependent. And they have figured out, and some of you have figured out, yeah, they'll cut your legs off and then offer you a wheelchair. And they make all kind of rules and regulations when it was them that broke your legs in the first place. Okay, so that part of it. Okay, so other ways to prepare. If you want to fight these guys, and I know you do, you can't do it broke dick. So silver, find out about silver. Big Swear will tell you about silver. Mike Maloney will tell you about silver. Anybody now will tell you about silver, and that silver is the most undervalued asset on the planet. Go get you some off of eBay. One of these things, $45 now. I remember when I could get 10 of them shipped to my door for $50, for $5 more. Now, one of these coins is $45. And this has happened in my son's lifetime. My son just turned 16, which blows my mind. But anyway, in that 16 years, these went from, you could barely give them away, right? And I was collecting them like crazy. And you could get one of these easily for $5 shipped to your door. Easily, $4.50 even, probably. I remember buying a couple of these, and I remember I have a little silver dragon. It's 1 ounce of pure silver. He guards my front door. I bought that for like $4.95, delivered off of eBay. You can't get a silver dragon for $4.95 anymore. You can't get one of these for less than, I'm going to say, $40. If you're really good at bidding and so forth, you might be able to get one for $40. Get you some silver. Okay, as much as you can get, as much as you can afford, just keep stacking it. Just keep stacking it. Now, here's the thing. If you had made a bunch of money in Bitcoin, you could be buying silver and making a difference with the amount of silver that you buy. And then when you get your silver, there's going to come all manner of things that you need to understand when it comes to silver, because guess what? People are going to try and take your silver. So you need, if they can't take it if they don't know where it is. Simple as that. So, I know it sounds like crazy talk, burying silver in your backyard, but people have done this for centuries. Again, if they don't know where it is, they can't take it. You put it in your safe deposit box, well, then shame on you, because they're going to take your silver, and I don't feel bad for you. Again, nobody told you, nobody forced you to put your silver there, and you will have no equity, will not come to your aid, because it says right there in the contract, the contents of your safe deposit box is the property of the bank, not yours. Again, need to learn the word property and what it means. Okay, so there's silver. Now, how about theta? Oh, I can't say enough about theta. I can't say enough about it. Go do your research on that one. I'm not doing the research for you. I'll put a couple of links if you want, but find out about theta. What am I talking about when it comes to theta? If you don't know about theta, I've been talking about this for quite a while now, and I should have brought it up earlier, because I remember when you could get one coin for a nickel, and now they're, what are they? Let's find out. I put this up here the other day. They are $6.84 at the moment, and it's been as high as $8. So yeah, theta coins have done. Can you do the math? If you would have put $1,000 in at a nickel, what your $1,000 is now, even at just $6.84, yeah, that would have made you some money. Okay, I don't give stock tips. I don't give tips, but when I do, you might pay attention. All right, I am not a financial advisor anymore. I used to be, but I gave that up. Imagine me showing up at the office looking like this. Fucking awesome. Anyway, it'd be great. I used to wear a tie. I used to have my haircut look like fucking Obama. No beat, right? Anyway, so the coin is called theta. It is not easy to buy. You're going to have to do some finagling to get this coin. You're going to have to buy Bitcoin first, probably, and then go to CoinSwap and then swap your Bitcoin for theta. All right. You can't buy it directly. You can't get on Coinbase yet. But when you do, what is it? What did I just say? 683, 684? Well, let's just call it $7, just for fun. Okay. You won't be able to get theta at $7 shortly. It's going to go quite a bit more. You probably would have liked it better at 65, which is when I started literally screaming at my girlfriend to buy it. And finally, she got around to getting some at like $2.99, I think is what she finally bought some at. And we're going to buy more, and we're going to keep buying more, because this thing, to the moon, it's going. I'm telling you, it's going to go. I love it. I had 11 and 2. Fuck it. I don't know about theta. If you can do some math, and you can't, why I have been able to feed myself for so long, because the average person can't do math. It was great today. I was fooling with a 6-year-old, and the lesson turned into a lesson for his parents, because The things I was showing the 6-year-old were blowing the parents' mind. But yeah, math is pretty easy. And see, this is the thing that opened my eyes, because if math is actually easy, and you know that most people hate math, and now they're trying to call math racist and blah blah blah. Oh shoot! And I didn't grab that. I believe I gave it to my boy. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go yell for a second. Hey you! Where's that Mathematics for the Million book? Did I not just give it to you? Or do I have it over here someplace? Cliff Hyatt was talking about this. No, you have it. Where is it? The hardcover book I just gave you. I'm making a video. You could be a little snappier than this. Right there. Oh my goodness. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, see, now for sure you're going to put it on 2 times speed. All right. This thing right here. This is the hard copy, Mathematics for the Millions. Get it. That's all I can say. You can now get it in, see this book from June 6th, 1957. This is what this copy is. There it is. Take the screenshot. Oops. There's the book. All right. You can get this on Amazon. You can get this in any book place. All right. This will help. Promise. And it's just read it. It's readable. It is. You just read it and spend some time on it. Again, Cliff Hyatt was talking about this. He has the brand new copy. This is one of my more prized possessions, actually. And as you can see, it's taken a little bit of a beating over time, but I've had this thing for a long, long time. Get you a copy and read it. It will help you understand mathematics. And see, this is what was one of my first clues is, okay, so they're lying about math being hard because all this, because make no mistake, I failed out. I didn't fail algebra. I did quite well in algebra, actually. I failed calculus. Failed it. Didn't even get close. That is my credential, because now I teach calculus, because now I understand it. Back then, crappy teacher, a lot of different things came to pass, but my story is not unusual. Most people fail at algebra. But see, I was at a private school with good teachers, and then we had a crappy teacher, and then see, I went down to the public school here, Maui High School, and there was a teacher named Toshi Yamashiro. And that guy, like, people think I'm a good math teacher. That guy was a better math teacher than I am, period. More patience, more understanding, more, a lot of things. But anyway, this guy made it so that, yeah, I understood. I mean, I realized that it wasn't me. It was the teacher. And then because the school that I was going to was a private school, and we were paying pretty heavy tuition, and they didn't want me going down to a teacher that was at a public school that could actually teach me mathematics and understand it. No, we had to have this. I won't mention his name, but I mean, he was well-meaning, but he didn't know math. And he didn't know it well enough. He certainly didn't understand calculus well enough to teach it. And because if you start to understand calculus, it's actually fucking simple. It's easy. If you can add, if you can count to 9, tell me if something's same or different or not, and form a rectangle. We're off to the races when it comes to mathematics. Okay, so that's, like I said. So what else are they lying about? This is when I start. I'm gonna say 1990 is when I first went. Okay, I grew up my whole life thinking that math was hard and stupid, and I see how it applies to things like securities and mutual funds and economics and stocks and bonds and so on. I got that. And then I realized that, oh, wait, if you can apply calculus and statistics, you can really start having fun in this market, because you can have the most probable outcome. And that's, what are you doing? You're betting the stock is going to go up, or you're betting the stock is going to go down, one or the other. You're going long or you're going short, one of the two. So I took a look at some of the other things that were going on. And see, now the Satanists are out in force. They are out, not trying to hide the fact that they're Satanists. They are Satan worshipers. And now the new snowflakey Satan worshippers will try to tell you that, no, we don't sacrifice. We don't actually sacrifice. It's just like going to church at the Catholic Church. They just, they're wafers. We don't actually use flesh or blood or anything. Lies, lies, lies. That's what they do. The fucking guy they worship is the grand deceiver. Are you thinking they're going to tell you the truth? Same thing I have going on with certain commanders and certain regiments that certainly got their guys fucking killed because they thought that these demons would follow the rules of engagement. I want to scream. They're not going to follow the rules of engagement, and your boys got killed because of it. Right? They'll never see this, but I mean, fuck, just really, really, the fucking Satan worshippers. They're not going to do the right thing. They're not honorable. They step off their square with impunity, and they laughed. I know they were laughing, right? And yeah, they killed themselves too. They're like the kamikazes. So yeah, their guys died, but your guys didn't have to die. If you would have been a little just a fucking this much smarter, because I can guarantee you, I ain't no fucking military man. But if I was the commander, I would never put my boys in that situation. Never in a million years. Right? The most I've ever come close to being any kind of commander was playing paintball. Right? And it's just paintball, and it's a game. Your body doesn't know it's a game, but and you will get punished if you try to be a hero. You will get shot up. Paintballs don't feel good when they hit you. But the idea being is that I've never been in a real life or death situation. Never been in a real life or death situation where my calls were responsible for, the life or death of somebody else. Never been in that situation. Hope to God I never get in that situation. Just think about those men, right? Military boys are a completely different animal. They really are. And it doesn't work if you don't obey commands. But anyway, I'm off on a tangent here. The idea being is that Satanists are out. They're making it clear that they are Satanists and that they worship Satan. And they have many followers. And the Christians are standing by with their fucking thumbs up their asses, letting these guys do what they do. And by the time you guys figure out that you need to banish these people back underground because these death cults are for real. They're not joking. They worship the old gods. They worship the Satan. They worship Saturn. And see, that's another one, Saturn. We'll circle back to that. Here, wait, and I'll make a note. So I remember. Anyway, see, right? They're Saturnus. Deceive Saturnus. But anyway, all right. You've seen that video. One of my shortest videos. But Moloch, Baal, all the elder gods, they worship them. They demand blood sacrifice. They give them blood sacrifice. They'll give them their own children as blood sacrifice. If they don't have their own children, then they'll give you, they'll take yours. Simple. There are now things that I've seen. I still have to check into this because I can't believe it's real. But there are certain satanic cults that are telling these women or telling women in their cults to go get their abortions. And these are the chants that you chant while you're getting your abortion so that you can give that. See, it's no longer an abortion. It's a sacrifice to their gods. These people deal in dark magic. They are for real. They exist. And some of you guys better buck the fuck up and realize that these are the people that have put people in positions of power all through our government, from the military to the judicial to the all of it, to the legislative, all of it. They're there. Okay, and it's not everybody. It's key people. Enough that if you make a complaint because your daughter was raped, nothing happens, right? Because the judge don't hear the shit, right? It's a prosecutor, it's a judge, it's a this, it's a that, right? The police, right? Anyway. And I know this because I have, unfortunately, a friend of a friend whose daughter was molested by a pedophile, and they can't get any traction to prosecute this guy. Why? Because the Satanists and the demons, they have their people in the appropriate places to spike the, right? It's just not hard. They don't have to have everybody. They just have to have people in positions of power or in positions where they can spike it or where they have, and we got to weed these guys out. And see, now a lot of these guys are being exposed. Further, again, let's skip that. Okay, so let's talk about Saturn for just a second. Okay, so Saturn and many, I know many people, mathematicians and physicists and so forth, that Saturn is the entity or the thing, excuse me, the thing that they, I don't want to call it worship, but that they respect, the thing that they, all right. Saturn, if you look at the Masons and some of the things that they've done, and if you look on the other video, I put the last video I just made yesterday, I put Manly P. Hall, 3 very good lectures by him. And I also got, like I said, I got the, we'll go over some words here in a minute, but I also got this loaded up so you can go over there and download the PDF. So this is now PDF form. I'll put it below this video also in the comments and the show notes. If you want it right now, just go over to the other video and look in the, what do you call, the more info. And the first thing that comes up is 300 words. And then I put 3 videos there. And then go over to the comments over here. And holy crap, you guys are making comments again. Yeah, okay. I'll actually do that. I have quite the interesting library. It is known for being esoteric and eclectic. But yeah, it's not, because you only have, see, my son has figured this out. Actually, both my sons have figured this out. You only got so many hours in a day. You only have so many days in your life. So it becomes important what you read and what you don't read. So certain books, and I have no issue with pleasure reading. I mean, if you like the Harlequin romance or whatever once in a while, just because you want to escape in a book and you don't want to think about thoughts like this and so on, I get it. But at the same time, maybe you want to read the Hermetica. Maybe you want to read the Bible. Maybe you want to, you know, I'd start with this one, right? This is a hell of a lot of work right here. Like, no joke. This is not, and again, if you're going down the literal translation road, sorry for you. Mathematics for the Million, another one. This one, you got to. This is a non-optional. What did I just do with the Hermetica? I just had it here a minute ago. Anyway, the Hermetic, I think my boy took it back because he's reading it. Oh, no, there it is. This one also. And this is not even thick. This is a good one, though. Right? Now, these are supposedly, but look what it says. Again, wrong but true. But the idea being is, yeah, these are a lot of The Prince by Machiavelli. Mathematics for the Million is definitely one I know that they do. Here's another one that is huge, and this is a bear. I've now read it twice. It is. It takes all day, and the next. But Law of Nations very, very clearly states out that. Anyway, read this, and you start to understand. See, our founding fathers read those books. And see, that was the thing. I started figuring out what did our founding fathers read? Because our founding fathers, and I'm talking about the Masons that founded this country, Benjamin Franklin, Paine, Jefferson, all those guys, Madison, all of them, Washington. What were they reading? Because these were educated. They understood economics. They understood the basics when it comes to governance and law and so on. And they understood what the words mean. And they were. This is why I say what they've done is, one, they've put a kibosh or made it like, it's so passé to be a Christian. They don't want you reading this book. They don't want you reading it. I don't care if you're a Christian, or Muslim, or Buddhist. You want out of the system. This is one of the fact. You're going to go, oh, when you start reading this with a discerning eye and you realize that this isn't just a literal story. But the Masons, like I said, they have got a bad rap. So, you don't want to study them. They're all evil. They're not all evil. I mean, and a lot of them carry knowledge that you're not going to get anywhere else. And yet it's important knowledge, because that was what this nation, these are the guys that founded this nation. These are the guys that understood state of mind. They understood how to trick you. They understood. If I take a book like, what is this one? Not that one. Not that one either. Oh, no. Jeez, I got so many books piled up around here. All right. Oops, not that one. This one. Okay. So if you take a book like this, for example, what you're going to find in here is exercises on harmony and gratitude and meditations, let's just, here, wait, we'll just open the book. All right, what do we got here? I open to Tree of Life and the Nine Worlds. Okay. Again, probably doesn't mean what you think it means. Find out what you really want to do and be. Wouldn't that be nice if your child came out of high school and wasn't confused about what to do and where to pee and so forth because he'd just been subjected to nonsense from people that did not have their best interest in mind? Right, personal magnetism, thoughts on manifesting. This is really, no, there's no spells in here for summoning demons. There's no fucking, right? There's no, anyway, okay. What they are here, right? And see, as above, so below. What they have here is an understanding of how does thing work. And when I say mind, and when I say, right, I'm not talking about the brain, the physical organ inside there. This is the interface to, we don't even know, but how to make it work for you, how to make it, they understand that, okay, how's one of the ways they get your friends that are wearing masks are fucking complete and utter dupes and idiots, but at the same time, they're good people. And the reason why they are wearing the mask is because they may have bought the concept of, I'm not wearing it for me, I'm wearing it for somebody else. So see, they play to their virtues. They know how to control the mind. And they don't see that, oh, yeah, I'm wearing it for somebody. Well, let's see, you've destroyed businesses. You've got children committing suicide now. You're going to have 100 million people probably on this planet starve to death because of all the disruptions in the supply lines so that you can be sanctimonious and wear your fucking mask. Okay, but they understood that, the guys at the top, when they gave us this whole thing, right? Okay, because they understand how this thing works and how to control you. Because that's what it's about. Government is mind control. All right, 66 laws. Again, I wouldn't go buy these with credit cards. I would pay cash. Anyhow, let's see here. Law 64. Tell no lies and do not share the secrets of others. Again, not a spell for summoning demons. Right? Does that sound like good advice, whether you're Christian, Jew, Buddhist, Hindu, right? How about, let's flip back a few more pages. Give your time to those things which are important. Guess what? Drinking beer and playing video games and watching sports is probably not the best use of your time. Just saying. See, and this is the thing that blows my mind is that you have these people that, oh, that's just conspiracy theory, right? But they know the names of all the quarterbacks. They know fucking Joe Namath's record from the, right? They know, you know what I mean? They can tell you the batting average of Hank Aaron, but they don't know Jack Doodoo Kaka about getting themselves out from under the whore of Babylon. And they have no idea what these 300 words that we're going to get into here eventually mean. And. Let's see here. Here's a basic one, and you'd be amazed. I took over, well, all right, we'll skip it. But I had several successful businesses just based on this one law alone. In order to get work done, you must show up. I know that's crazy talk, but yeah. I remember showing up at one job. I used to have a carpet cleaning company. My next door neighbor still has a carpet cleaning company. He has a nice house, feeds himself, put kids through school, all on a carpet business, just cleaning people's carpets. Okay. People told me my appointment was at 8:30, and I showed up at 8:30 in the morning. I thought it was a little weird because a lot of times, usually, believe it or not, carpet cleaning is an afternoon, late morning job. There's not unless you have businesses, but I mean, people don't usually get up in the morning wanting you to clean their carpet. Just saying. But on occasion. Okay, so I had an 8:30 appointment. I was there at 8:30. They were like, what are you doing here? I can tell that same story with when I had Weed Eater Will Travel, because again, service industry, I just like being my own boss, and you can make stupid money. I have a friend who is well-educated. He makes $18. My little boy, who is not well-educated and doesn't have much skill, making $20. Just pushing a mower around and using a weed whacker, because wealthy people will not cut their own grass. Simple as that. This guy's skilled labor. He's working on cars, auto mechanics, and he's making $18. And he doesn't like his job. I know guys that love turning wrenches. He's one of the guys that does not love turning wrenches. Anyway, point being here is that these guys know how to run your mind for you if you won't take responsibility for running your mind. Simple as that. They know how to do it. Oh, wait, I picked this one up. You probably want to know this too, right? Just which you probably want to know about stamps and duties. It's a very thin book, actually not that easy to come by. And that's why, do I have it here? I do not have it here. Maybe it's over here. It's not over there. Nope. All right, fine. Anyway, but that's why some of my documents have stamps on them, because of this. Okay. My point is that these guys, they understand that you're lazy. They understand that you won't read. They understand that most of you want to be free. You want to talk shit about liberty. You want to talk shit about getting out from under the whore of Babylon, but you don't want to do the reading. You don't want to understand the words. You don't want to do the work that it takes to do it. Therefore, you're fit to be a slave. Well, okay, you're not a slave. You're a bonded free man, but you're fit to be bonded. Okay, these guys have done the reading. They've done the study to the point where they can take the third degree, and the third degree oral. No, right? You might get a picture or a symbol here and there, but you don't get it. You don't get notes. It's all got to be up here. Right? Those guys, they do a lot of work. Right? Same thing. Hawaiians, the Kahuna Lapa Ao, and all that oral tradition. And some of those chants, how many stories do I want to tell? That's me censoring. Skip. Okay, here's a good story. There's a friend of mine that is for Kahuna, he's actually a pretty young guy. He's about my age, but he studied with guys for quite a while. And one of the things that he had to do is learn certain chants. And if you so much as fuck up a syllable, you can get a good crack with a stick. So you learn not to fuck up syllables, because they will give you a nice, it'll leave a welt. Okay, not because they hate you, but because they want you to understand that you must learn these chants. Every syllable must be correct. Okay, because it's an oral tradition, and it's like playing telephone, where if you get that one wrong, and then next and then pretty soon you pass it on, and now it's a whole other thing than it started out to be, because you weren't conscientious about taking in the knowledge. All right. Most of you are never going to have that issue. But let us go. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Do I have it here? I don't. Hold on a second. I'm going to put it over here in the chat so you guys can call it up. It's a PDF. You guys, I recommend you print the thing. Oh, shoot. All right, fine. Hold on a second. I'm apparently not prepared. I thought I was prepared. Turns out not. Let's go to this. Oh, look, that's me. That's the one I'm doing now. I don't want that one. I want the one from yesterday, because I just put the thing in the description box. So I'm doing the same thing you could be doing, but I'll make it even easier. All right. And Sunday Night Surf Fest, because we're freaking surfs, kids. The surfs that think we're free, surfs that think we're the smartest, bestest thing ever. And it turns out maybe not. There it is. And there it is. Okay. And look, you can even blow it up and everything. So you have no issue reading these. And now let me put it over here in the chat for you guys. Now the sun's directly in my face. Can't even see the mouse. Is it there? Yes. All right. Perfect. Okay. So there it is. Let's go over some of these terms. And I'll point out, well, they're all important. Some may be more important than others, but at the same time. And see, this is the thing. If you need to have somebody read you the law, if you need to have somebody read you the things, if you need to have somebody read it to you, the news, for example, right? Because like a lot of your friends, they need to have the news read to them because they can't find it for themselves. And then they go on social media and they regurgitate what they were told and what to think. That's the other thing. They're even to the point where they're, what they think about whatever the news is. Okay. Articles of the peace. Kind of important to know those, what that is, right? And then understand it's underlined and bolded there, to compel a person to give bond. What does that mean? Pardoning power. Condonable offense. I was just quizzing my son on this one. What is a condonable offense? What does condonation mean? It's a synonym for forgiveness. See, but not all synonyms are synonyms. What? I can't speak English suddenly. Not all synonyms are exact. Malice in law, malicious, maliciously, malicious mischief, malicious prosecution, malo amino. Okay, so see, this is the thing. When you have a wicked intent or a bad intent, that's going to weigh more heavily on your, like if you did something where you caused harm or loss, you stepped off your square with a, you said to no square there, you stepped off your square and caused somebody harm. Well, actually, it's with the H here and the L there and the piece there and the contracts here. And you did it and you caused loss or harm or something, right? But you didn't do it with malicious intent. That's going to be much better than if you harm somebody maliciously. Let's see here. Probability, no. Probable, another good one. Defamation, huge. Libel or slander. Read that. Let's see here. Benefice, that's another important one. Bill in equity. That now you got to understand about bills. So go back and skip the whole bill in equity and bill in all the other bills that are here. Bill of application, bill of peace, right? Bill of, right? Okay. Go back. What's a bill? What are bills? Kind of a word you need to know. Let's see here. Breach of the peace. Can't stay on your square if you don't know if you're breaching the peace or not. Oh, I saw a great thing, and actually, I heard a great thing. This comes from Bixweir again. Yeah, be for things, not against things. Because what you're against, you strengthen. And this is what the Democrats didn't understand, is that they were against Trump, and they wound up strengthening him. What they should have been is pro somebody better, but they didn't have anybody better, obviously. Let's see here. Corporate citizenship, huge, right? Corporation. And then you're going to spend time on that one word, corporation, right? Incorporate, corporation, right? Corp, oration, right? That's a dead thing that can speak. Learn, like I said, learn where the words come from. Because right? Jurisdiction, again, juris, law, diction, speaking law. Some people can speak law to you and some people can't. You need to be the law sayer. You need to be the law speaker. You need to be able to speak law for yourself. And then you need to be able to speak that law and put it on paper in your own hand, right? Look how sloppy it is still, right? So I gave him it in what do you call it? In printed form, but this is evidence that I'm a living creature, that I'm alive. Really? None of these? Oh, yes, it is. All right, there you go. So here's the documents I was looking for. So right there's signature, thumbprint, all that. There's a raised seal there. There should be an LS there, and I didn't put it on there because I was ignorant at the time. And there's some stamps. And we've talked about this before to give your documents value. Okay, corporation, forgiveness. Where was I? Oh, I wasn't reading here. I was reading here. What page is that? Because due course of law, you should know about that. And due care, understand the concept of due care. Bonds, that's the other one you want to take a look at. That's huge. Property, bonds, bonding. Let's see here. Understanding domestic as opposed to foreign and alien. Foreign, alien, domestic. Those are three terms you need to know. And how they apply to you and how they apply to the people that are alien to you, foreign to you, and domestic to you. And then the little words. Oh man, the little words. To, of, in, for, all those little short words. Oh man, hugely important to understand and their use. Right? Right? The difference between in and at, for example. Do you have at laws or in laws? Is it an attorney at law or an attorney in law? Right? Are you at their court or in their court? I'm telling you, you would think, oh, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah, it does. And so you will start to learn not to be sloppy in your language. And I'm still very sloppy in my language, especially when I go back and listen to some of these things. I'm sloppy in my language. Let's see here. In Diane's. Inherent. There's another one, right? There's 300 words here. Like I said, get to know this. And this is just 300 words. I should bring my boy in here and talk about Chinese. How many characters do you need in Chinese just to be able to read the paper? Right now, he's been taking Chinese for years. He can't read the paper because he doesn't have enough vocabulary. He can't decode enough symbols because he only can do, I don't know, he's probably up to 500, 600, and you need like 5,000 or 6,000. Here's 300 words. Let's see here. Skip. Oh, confusion of rights and obligations. Unlawfully insulated. Commercial blockade. Let's see here. And then, like I said, ab initio. Understand that term. And then you can start adding it to other words like unlawful ab initio, trespass ab initio. Let's see here. We talked about this in the other one, or I did. Perpetuity. Rule against perpetuity. Let's see here. The difference between injustice and unjust, right? Unjust and unjust. Trespass is another word you need to understand. Restoration rule. Restoration of record, right? As opposed to correction of record. Let's see here. I'm just covering that, right? And like I said, you have it now. You can download them, study these words. Get a dictionary. You're going to need multiple dictionaries. Oh, shoot, I still didn't bring the other dictionary. Do I have the other one? Yes, I do. Here it is. This is a very interesting dictionary to use. This is Anderson's. It doesn't have all the things in there that you need, but it does have, like I said, sun directly in my face. This is Anderson's law. You need, and see the dictionaries, $70. Like if you find a cheap used one. But law dictionaries, Black's Law, and see, do you know the difference between Black's Law's 4th edition and Black's Law's 10th edition? Probably the 10th edition is actually better, but you'll notice that sometimes they take words out because they don't want you knowing about the concepts. Patrick Devine discovered a couple of those. Same thing here. Oh, and look, this is a blank one. That's what you put on the envelope. Take a screenshot. Can't tell if it's right. Okay. And then you put your 3-cent stamp on this, and then you do not put a zip code on there, and then put the name the way you want the name to be, generally in all lowercase, and then you'll have a postal stamp that, anyway, if you don't know how to use this in court, don't use this in court. But you can write letters to your loved ones and so forth for 3 cents instead of 50 cents or whatever it is, if you just know that much. Now, here's the thing. Everything on there you need to look up and understand, which will get you to the postal service, which will get you to the stuff. Let's see what this is. Bilateral contract. Is there any other thing? Let's see here. There you go. I was looking up bills, right? Bill of adventure. Bill of attainder. There you go. There's not supposed to be bill of attainders. What's a bill of attainder? Here, I'll read you this one. But I mean, bill of conformity, bill of cost, bill of credit, bill of discovery, bill of exceptions, bill of exchange, bill of health, bills, bill of indemnity, bill of interpleader, bill of lading. Oh, you need to know bill of lading. I mean, on and on. Bill of peace, bill of privilege, bill of, I'm skipping over, right? Bill of rights, bill to take testimony de beni esse. There it is. Okay. Kind of important to know these things. But anyway, the point being with this is that you need to look up everything that's on here, right? First class, non-domestic. So there's that word domestic again. But wait a minute, this is non-domestic. What does that mean? Non-domestic to who? What are we talking about? With prejudice, and it's UCC 1308. DMM, what's that stand for? If you don't know, you don't know. That would be the mail manual, though. Let's see here. the statutes at large, chapter 71, section 2, right? Okay. You look all that stuff up and start doing some reading. Okay, because it boils down to you got to know what the words mean. And I was completely surprised by the fact that I didn't know. I thought I knew what the words mean. I thought I understood the connotation. No, I didn't. No, I did not. Where was I? Let's get back to this. The sun in my face is really not helping, especially with these things on. It makes very interesting rainbows and colors and all kind of fun stuff. Let's see here. Heck, I may even change, but then I won't be able to read because they're too dark. Wow. All right. Great moments in bad timing. That will go behind the cloud in mere moments, but at the moment, it's making it difficult for me to see things. See? Can't even. I don't see my mouse in all of this. All right. There you go. Let's see here. What else? We haven't even gotten through all 18 pages here. And again, this is just the beginning. This is not the have all be all. This is your start into the see, there it is going behind the clouds. The start to the road that you're going to go down so that you can be learned well enough that you can, like, I am looking forward. I hope, right? I wish a motherfucker would, is where I'm at right now. Invite me into court. I will come. And the Jesus tells you that you're supposed to, but they won't let me in court anymore. I almost guarantee it. Why? Because my paperwork's going in. I'm not green listed yet, but I am definitely blacklisted. Don't mess with this guy. He can hurt you. Right? You can tap your bonds. You can make it so that you can't work. You can make, right? I guarantee you that the word has gone out. Okay. You don't want to be that because you don't want them afraid of you, because like a dog, if he's afraid of you, he'll bite. What you want is for them you hand them your paperwork and they call it in and, oh, this is a living person. And right? Notice how I use the word living person, a man. All right? Ain't nothing but men on the planet. Some men have wombs. You either have a womb or you don't. If you don't have a womb, we just go with man. If you have a womb, that's a womb man. I don't care if you're hermaphrodite. I don't in it, right? There are two kinds here. We come in two flavors. Man and man with a womb. That's it. And they're trying to get you away from that. Let's see here. Oh, implied. There's another big one. Implied or express. Let's see here. So, and then you get, and then see, now you can start adding words together where you have implied coercion, implied constitutional provision, implied contract, right? It's not an express contract. And what other kind of contracts are there? So look up contract. Implied dedication, implied delivery. Ooh, delivery as opposed to delivery. Implied force, implied powers, etc. Okay, look up implied. I suggest you look up implied. I suggest you look up suggest. Suggestio falsi. Let's see here. What is that? A suggestion of that which is false or untrue, a misrepresentation. And then when they give you a site, go over there and look up the site. That's how I figured out that one quote wasn't a real quote, because like I said, it was wrong but true. It sounded great, but then when you go look up the case, it wasn't in there. So again, doesn't matter if it comes from me, whoever it comes, you got to do your own damn research and look it up, right? Because the person I got that from was what I would consider a fairly credible source. And then when I went and looked it up, it doesn't exist. There's plenty of that on the internet because they're there to trap you. They're trying to trip you up. And if you would have used that one, for example, which go back and look at the other video at the very beginning, I talk about it. They know exactly where you got it from. And well, maybe they don't know exactly where you got it from, but they know that you don't do your research, you don't do your homework, and that they can trip you up. Right? You give them the opportunity, and they will. It's not about being fair. I know. Oh crap! Now I won't be able to remember his name. I always think of Mr. 861 dude, and I tried to tell him that 861 was not going to save him. Larkin Rose. There's another one right there where he was expecting, and I know now so many people. The guy that wrote Pete Hendrickson, that wrote cracking the code. And like I said, Larkin, they all expected to walk into court, and they were expecting equity. When justice is blind, her sword is right up and the scales down, and right, or what is it? I can't remember now what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be justice is a man. Oh, and the green mantle, that is your lordship. That is your masters. That shows that you're a master. So you'll see a lot of these people will take pictures, and they'll have like a green shawl on. Women also, because you can be a master and be a woman at the same time. But anyway, if you're walking into a court where justice is a woman wearing a shroud, not wearing royal garb, certainly not wearing green, has no gems, can't even see, sword up, scales down instead of sword down, scales up, and on and on. I made videos about this. Then you are going to get the exact opposite of justice in there. And they both found out that, yes, they were right, but they still lost. So it doesn't matter. They were wrong, but true in the eyes of the court. So make sure that you understand enough that you don't get yourself in that position in the first place. And if you filed your paperwork and done things properly, they don't want you in the courtroom. They don't want you in there. They don't want you, right? And I have people now that I've done, and they can't wait to get into court and show up. No. You don't want to go. You want, if you have to go, and you, right? But after that, I almost guarantee you, they'll either kick you out, the judge will vacate, they'll whatever, but you got to have your paperwork in order first. You can't go in there and stand up. That's an ambush. You can't go in there. That's not fair. That's not, that's controversial. You're creating a controversy. So what you want to do is make it clear to them that, hey, you can't speak law to me, right? Yeah, I'm outside of your jurisdiction, and I don't mean you any harm. I don't plan on stepping off of my square anytime soon. But you may not act upon me with mischief in your contracts, and I have discovered the mischief in your contracts. This is fraud. Fraud vitiates everything, right? Ab initio, from the start. Right? It's ailing. So what's that word mean? I noticed that's not in there. Ailing. That's kind of an important one to know. It just means that they are false from the very, very beginning of this thing. From the second they freaking took you and got your mommy to sign a birth certificate in ignorance without disclosing to her what she was doing and that was a pledge, they have harmed you with mischief in their contracts. They've caused you harm and loss. Right? They have completely stepped off their square, and they fucking know it. Don't make any mistake. They all pretend all day long that, oh, we didn't know. Right? Like I even told this one judge, he's like, well, the birth certificate's important to us. Well, like it doesn't mean a damn thing to me. He goes, yeah, but who and he was correct. Who was the important one? Me or them? Who has all the guns and clubs? Me or them? Okay. I wish I could get out of the sun. and that cloud just parted perfectly so that it's actually making me sweat. Here we are in Hawaii. It's freezing. It's only like 75 degrees. But I'm in the house and the sun is on me and it's bright. Okay, so let's see here. Let's continue on down this path. Let's go to this one. Oops. See, I can't see my mouse. There you go. Okay. I did that. Talked about this. Talked about the little letters. Know their symbol. Okay. I am going to go here a little bit. Let's talk about this. All right. So you guys are familiar with memes. And inside a meme, there'll be like Pepe the Frog, or there'll be, okay. So let's pick the one where it's Willy Wonka. God, am I going to try to draw it? No, I'm not. Here, wait. I'm just. With his shit-eating grin smile. That's Willy Wonka. Okay. But it's supposed to be actually Willy Wonka. All right. Have you read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Well, if you've read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, then you really know who Willy Wonka is. A lot of you guys, maybe you don't. Maybe he's just a surly guy that's in the meme. Okay, it's the same thing with Masons. It's the same thing with a lot of these others that have memes in them and pictures in them. They may not have read the book. They might see the meme in there, but they don't know who Willy Wonka is. They just know what he represents. Are you following me here? Okay, it's got to be the same with you. When you see like tarot cards, for example, My son now quizzes me constantly on what it means, because it's absolutely true. There is nothing on a tarot card that's not supposed to be there. Every bit of everything. And there's been people that ask me that I want to do, because I've studied and studied and studied what it is that, because it's symbolism and it speaks to your subconscious also. So understanding what's on those tarot cards and what they come from will also make you a better tarot reader if you play, if you do that, if you deal in tarot. But anyway, the idea is that they'll have stuff like that on the cards and the cloth in between, the guy sitting on the throne and so forth. Okay, every bit of that, Jacob, right? What is that? That's J and B. That's Jacob and Boaz right there. What do these two pillars represent? You know or you don't. Okay, but their symbolism and their bullshit is around you all the time. But their signs, seals, and symbols are around you all the time. And they understand that on a subconscious level, it has effect. Not just on the conscious level. And they do a lot of it, again, just for control. Not just, but because of control. Not for the money, not for land, not for... because control is power. Control will give them money. How many of these people have you seen the masks just flowing all over the place? Just, I mean, anywhere you go now, on Maui, on I mean, anywhere you freaking go, there's like masks blowing in the freaking wind. I go down to the, I mean, anywhere there's masks every freaking where now. You know, because they're so right. Where are the containment bins for these things? Where, you know, they should be biohazards, shouldn't they? All right, so the idea being is that, well, they got control of your mind. You have to be able to read the meanings. You have to be able to read the pictures and symbols that they flash at you. They got control of your mind because government, to govern, mind control, govern, control, mind control. That's what government is. All right. Because they understood once they got control of your mind, they don't have to put you in chains. How do they get control of your mind? One of the best ways to get control of your mind is to make sure you're fucking ignorant. Right? That way you can't ask questions. You don't even know what questions to ask. You don't know the words. You don't know what the words mean. And yet you're subject to them. Right? So the more ignorant you are, the more they can dumb you down in public schools now. And I mean, I was just thinking about this because I was I wasn't there. I was like this on video, and they were having a bit of a party, and I wanted to attend sort of vicariously this way because it was far away. And anyway, but there was a bunch of people there, and they all had their children there. All right, nothing against these people. They're ignorant as fuck, but I mean, you know, they're good folks again. And I was thinking, while I was watching these little beautiful children play, the children are going to be even dumber than their parents. And their parents are pretty fucking dumb. Right? Generation after generation after generation. What they're doing is dumbing us down. What they're doing is making it so we can't even fight back using this. And see what they don't understand using this, using one of these, using a pen. Because pen is mightier than sword. Anyway, this is the pen I use. This is Harold's Purple Clan. And you will see that, see, every letter they get from me, it will be written with this pen or a pen like it in purple ink. Now, you don't get crazy with that. Purple, black, blue are basically the colors you get to use. Right? So don't be using lime green, right? And I don't know, pink and so forth. No, don't do any of that. And then also make sure that you give them a copy. Oops, that's legible. Right? And then down here, there should be an LS right there, which just means that the original copy had a seal on it. Okay, so you got to understand your signs and seals, your fingerprint, all of that. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, and who they are as it applies to law. But the mind control is so much easier if you're ignorant. So you need to be learned. And when you get learned, what the number one thing, if you don't learn anything else, if you honestly, and I'm not prophesizing or anything or trying to get you to join a church and take 10%, but if you don't learn anything else, this is the one. Right? Spend the time to understand this. And then, like I said, you can't be talking about it's a miracle. He fed everybody with 3 fishes and 2 loaves. All right, that's not what the story was. that's not what happened. And then all the crumbs filled 12 baskets. 12. So see, if you learn some mathematics and some numerology, you start to spot the numbers. And when you see them using numbers in whatever it is, you pay attention. Right? Take a closer look. So again, the way they control us is through ignorance and fear, mostly, through absolutely not understanding even the most basic stuff about contracts. And see, it's starting to flow around the interwebs now. I'm starting to see this. Really, did you think that they were going to give you the education you needed to set yourself free? Really? Maybe they might even fill your head so full of dreams that you, when somebody like me comes along and says, excuse me, you're a bonded free man, you go, that's crazy. I'm an American. You ain't an American. Your passport says U.S. person. Your driver's license says U.S. person. Your tax forms say U.S. person. Every fucking thing you've ever signed says U.S. person. It doesn't say you're an American. Am I lying? Okay, and again, fact check me. I'm some fucking guy on the internet. So, I don't get it right 100% of the time. I try to, but there are times when I just, ooh, geez. And I look back at those videos and I want to delete them because they're wrong. But see, if you would do your research, you would be able to spot when it's wrong. And see, that's the other thing. Even just the pronunciation of words. They make it so that you don't know how to, and you got no excuse because now you can take any of these words, put them into Google, even Mama Google, and put deaf next to it, and then you can push the button and you can hear somebody pronounce it for you. See, now don't make fun of people that don't know how to pronounce words. There's a couple of people that they're reading stuff and they're on the internet and they're trying to put knowledge out, and I cringe because they can't pronounce. I can't think of anything off the top of my head at the moment, but there are times when I'm just like, I know how to pronounce those words. And you should too, because you should be able to take the word, put it into a search engine. And guess what? The sound of the word makes a difference, actually. And then understand A-E-I-O-U, all of those can be swapped out for each other. And that's another way they hide things from us, is because they'll spell it slightly differently, or they'll have you pronounce it differently, or learn to pronounce it differently and make that the common usage. And then turns out that that is there to fool you or to confuse you. Finally. That's lovely. Wow. Beautiful silver lining on that cloud right now because the sun's just peeking behind it. Right. It was making me sweat. That's a hot Hawaii sun, and it's only March. Anyhow, oh my, more of you. Hey. Okay, so just 300 words to start. Just do that much, right? How do you eat an elephant? Because this is an elephant. This is a crazy, monstrous elephant. Some woolly mammoth. How do you eat it? One bite at a time, right? You don't have to learn all 300 words. 1 page today, 1 page tomorrow, right? There's 18 pages. In 18 days, you'll have this down. Don't get overwhelmed because it is overwhelming. There's so much to read and so much to do and so much paperwork. And see, just like my boy, I'm having him write a little letter to and it took him a long time to figure out who to write to. That's the other part of it. He's writing to the woman, and it turns out it's a woman, who sometimes acts as the head of the Department of Licensing and Motor Vehicles for the county or for the state of Hawaii. And he's going to ask her some very simple questions. And because he's 16, and it's going to come off where he's not being an ass, he's just going to be asking, do I need a license to travel from point A to point B? Why is it that you hand us a blank UCC form when we sign up for our driver's licenses? Did you know that that was a UCC form that was blank? No, you didn't, but they do. Just some really simple, basic questions. And then I asked them, we were having a conversation. So you need to write some other letters to other people and ask some very basic questions while you still can, right? While you're still 16 and you're not being, right? Because you're just in earnest asking these people questions. Okay, so first off, you got to come up with the questions, right? And then you got to know who to send them to. Okay, so he's got some questions. So who do I ask? All right, so now you got to think about questions about the birth certificate, questions about all manner of, because we get fairly technical now, of course, because he's my boy. But I mean, and it'll be good for me because I'll learn at the same time. But ask questions. And see, do you want leaders or do you want public servants? Because again, if you have leaders, then that makes you a follower by default. Or do you want to be your own leader? Do you want to be your own bank? If you want to be your own bank, there's this stuff called cryptocurrency. But one more time. Crypt. Oh, crypt. Does that sound like currency for the living? The cryptocurrency? Does crypt sound like you want? All right, Tales from the Crypt, cryptic, cryptography, crypt. Do you want cryptocurrency? Well, yeah, you do, because I know a lot of people that they didn't want to get into crypto because they didn't understand Bitcoin and so forth. And had you put $100 in Bitcoin back when it was, 10 coins to $1, you'd be sitting pretty right now, wouldn't you? So doesn't matter if it's for the dead or what. This is a system we have. Take advantage of the system we have. I'll tell you another story. I have a female friend who's going to get some surgery, and it's going to be about $12,000 for this surgery. It's semi-elective, but it's actually getting to be a matter of life and death. All right, so she has multiple places that she can pull $12,000 from. One of them is Theta Coins. One of them is she's got some money invested in the market, and she's waiting for these stocks to do their thing. And I've been really good at picking stocks lately. I mean, like one of my worst stocks is like a 3-bagger at the moment. I've had 14 baggers. I've had 20 baggers. I've had 40 baggers lately, just because the market is insane at the moment. Gregory Mannarino, I suggest you follow that guy. And maybe also you want to get trends forecast from, since we're talking about this kind of stuff. Where do you get your knowledge? Where do you get your information? Trends forecast. That's Gerald Celente. Totally freaking reasonable subscription. He's got a track record can't beat. I mean, can't beat that guy's track record, right? He's been calling it correct for fucking a long time. Solari Report. Catherine Austin Fitz. Get the Solari Report, right? She's another one that that'll put you ahead. Solari Report. What else do I do? I'm sure there's more, but anyway, those two for sure. Again, it's what you read and it's the information that you get. And Gerald Celente and Catherine Austin Fitz both see that this was a pandemic and so on. Okay, so the point is that get the information that you have, or get the make sure that the information you have is correct and truthful, and then be able to take that information and turn around and ask questions. And if you can't get answers, and now we're at the point where Mama Google may not show you the answers, and you may use DuckDuckGo or other. But anyway, they're doing their damnedest to make sure that you can't get information on your own. You may need to go talk to people, or use email, or go to different websites, or so forth. Because, like, take Bix Weir, for example, in the Road to Ruta and his whole thing about Theta and so forth. Okay, can't answer all his emails. Same thing, Gerald Celente, he can't get to all his emails. Same thing, even Greg Hunter, he can't get to all his emails. So who are you going to ask? Well, there's other people, and you'll see that when you actually write a letter and not an email, that when you actually put a stamp on it and you follow the proper protocol and fill your documents out correctly, and notice how my signature is over here, not over here, right? And you do address, and right, you know how to fill, right? Notice it's a legal piece of paper. This is not a letter. Okay, they're going to pay attention to you, and they'll eventually get back to you. Okay, in some cases, when it's legal, you have, when law is involved and so forth, there is no excuse. A lot of times they have exactly 10 days to respond and 30 days to respond. And see, this is the other thing, because they're busy and because they help, right? You have to not rush them. You have to not create a situation where you're not coming with clean hands. You're trying to trick them by writing them lots of letters that they can't respond to in time, and therefore they default. Okay, that's not clean hands. So what you're going to do is you're going to give them 30 and 30 and 30. In 90 days, they fucking better have a chance to respond to you. But probably what they're going to do is respond in silence. And you've told them 3 times. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, maybe you were wrong, and they just didn't get a chance to correct you in the first 30. So in the second 30, in the third, now after that, it's no longer your fault, right? It's their fault because you asked for help. You asked for guidance or to be corrected if you were wrong. Because once again, it's the job of the people to keep the government from falling into error. It is not the job of the government to keep the people from falling into error. So you may have fallen into error through no fault of your own. Let's say, or not through no fault of your own, technically, but I mean, let's say you have, trying to come up with an example that everybody can relate to. Right to travel. Okay, so you have a right to travel. They cannot tell you that you can't travel. They can't tell you to stay home. Well, they are, but they can't. They're not supposed to be able to. All right, so maybe you might ask somebody in the know if you have a right to travel or not in your county or in your state. Who would you ask that question? Do I have the right to travel in this state in the conveyance of the day? Do I need a license to travel from point A to point B in this state? And then you need to understand what a state is. Ooh, that should be one of the words in here, shouldn't it? State, county, right? The difference between the difference between Hawaii state constitution and state of Hawaii. And state of Hawaii doesn't have a constitution. Hawaii state does have a constitution, though. Some other states are not that way. Is it in here? I'm looking to see if it's in here. I don't see it in there. Anyway, so state, that's another one. Add. If it's not in there, then you need to know what a state is, and it might not be what you think. He's looking over the definitions. I don't see it in here. Ooh, Nemos are in here. Hugely important, those guys right there. Registration. There you go. Do I need to register my car? Am I required to register my car? Or is it only apply to motor vehicles? Another simple question. To whom does this law apply? Is it a law or a statute? Okay. So again, once you start to get educated, you're going to find that or once you start educating yourself, because you were educated, you weren't educated, you were schooled, right? They gave you some schooling so that you could function in the society that they created for you, ignorantly and stupidly, bumbling through your life, having them, take money when there is no injured party, when you have caused no one any harm or any loss. Gee, that would, right? So one more time, go look up Bill of Attainder. It's right in the Constitution in the beginning. What is a Bill of Attainder? And most people didn't know that much. But there are no bills of attainder. In other words, no administrative agency or other can make some kind of law and then, it's not even a law, make some kind of statute, and then you break the statute, and then they take money from you without a jury trial, especially if it's more than $20. They can't just take money from you. You can't just walk into court and plead guilty or not guilty and have a judge say, all right, give us money. You do it every day. It happens every day, but they're not supposed to be able to do bills of attainder. So you might ask, is such and such a bill of attainder? Does this qualify for bill of attainder? Okay, I don't even know what a bill of attainder is. I'm confused. Can you please explain to me what a bill of attainder is? Okay, who are you going to ask that question to? Secretary of State? I don't know, prosecuting attorney? Let's see, who else might you ask? How about the not the Secretary of State, but the other guy, the district attorney, right? Not the district attorney. Wow, really? Who's the top cop? The attorney general. There you go. The office of the attorney general. Maybe you want to ask the attorney general in your state some questions with regard to law. And then if you have children, even better, because if they're 16, 17, hi, I'm doing a homeschool project and I had some questions. Could you please clarify this to the best of your ability? Thanks. They'll be happy to respond. I almost guarantee it. And then you'll have a letter from the Attorney General of the state of Hawaii or the Attorney General of California that says, in answer to your question, how's that going to stand up in a court of law? And again, maybe you don't need to even go into a court of law. Yeah, that's the last place you want to go. You don't want to go. What you want to do is send documents. You don't want to show up in proprio persona. You want to show up, ooh, what's it called when you send a document instead of showing up in person? I'll leave that to you. But maybe you want to take your documents and have those show up in court that you find, and then you have to know how to properly file and all that kind of stuff. And they probably will back the hell off, especially if one of your attachments is a letter from one of their own officers, Department of State, right? The Secretary of State, maybe the governor, like I said, the Attorney General. Maybe the Lieutenant Governor might have be able to answer a question or two. And see, do you want to ask questions about transportation to the Secretary of Agriculture? Maybe you want to ask questions about transportation to the Secretary of the Transportation. Get it? Maybe you want to talk about collecting rainwater and your biodynamic farm. You probably want to Secretary of the Interior or Secretary of Agriculture. So there are appropriate places to ask appropriate questions, right? And don't ask quote unquote stupid questions. There are no stupid questions, but at the same time, don't pester these people. Do it with intent in mind, right? I have a letter here. Where is it? Is it up there? It was up there. Yes, it is. All right. Hold on just a second. A long time ago, so long ago, when was this? This was 03. So 17 years ago, I wrote Ameritrade a letter asking them some very simple questions. And the very simple question was, and this made a big difference, I assure you. Thank you for your correspondence dated March 14, 2003, regarding your account held with Ameritrade. Right? I have received your letter and welcome the opportunity to respond. Your satisfaction is important to us, blah, 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 blah. Get to the fucking point. I want to assure you that Ameritrade appreciates the trust you have given us, and I am sure that you agree that... Okay, so I personally thank you for your business and so on. So the question that I asked that doesn't seem to be answered in this letter, but actually it does, is... shoot, I wish I had a letter that I wrote that answered the question. But anyway, Ameritrade will provide account information to third parties when served a court-issued subpoena and performs as required under court orders. Ameritrade does not notify account holders when a lien is attached to their self-managed account. Ameritrade is concerned about client privacy. Okay, that's the question I remember now. The question I asked. The question I asked is, does the Ameritrade follow the rules of the United States or the laws of the United States with regard to liens and levies? And what they were trying to tell me is, because see, what the IRS will do is give them a notice of lien, not an actual lien, just a notice. And a lot of times Ameritrade will drain your account. So anyway, they tried to do this with me. And wait a minute, you said that you followed the laws of the United States. Well, the laws of the United States says they need a fucking court order, not just a notice of lien. They need an order signed by a judge. And here's a letter that says the same. So if you took money out of my account, and they did, without a court order, you said you wouldn't. And guess what? The money reappeared in my account because they knew that they weren't going to beat me. We didn't have to go to court. We didn't have to go to, right? Okay, head them off at the pass. Okay, that's just one letter. This is years ago. I didn't just start doing this yesterday. Right? I haven't paid a dime. I haven't paid the IRS a dime since 2001. I quit feeding the beast. I'm not getting away with anything. I don't owe the tax. I don't suggest you don't pay tax that you owe. That would be bad. That would be very, very bad because they will come and get it, I assure you. But if you don't owe the tax and you can prove that you don't owe the tax, don't pay the tax. Am I talking crazy over here? Most of you guys are afraid of the IRS because you don't have knowledge enough you don't have enough knowledge. And I wouldn't suggest going up against it because they will fucking kick down your door with dogs and guns. That's been proven, right? It's not just a threat. But they won't kick down your door with dogs and guns if you know what the fuck you're doing. Because you will come back at them, and every one of those guys knows that they'll be liable, and they want the dumb ones. They go after the dumb ones. They go after the dumb, poor ones. Right? You'll notice that wealthy people rarely get audited because they have lawyers and money that can. Right? Okay, but poor people, oh, they just go away, leave me alone. Here, I'll write you a check. Here, take some money. Oh, what do you need? My firstborn here. Take that too. Right? Because you're scared. Right? Slaves. We're slaves. Oh my God. Okay, we're not slaves. We're bonded freemen. Right? But it's because you're ignorant. So you're so ignorant, the IRS can ride roughshod over you, right? Like you'll see so many of these guys, these what do they call them, patriots and various people that are in the truther movement and so forth, that they still haven't figured out how to get out from under the horror known as the IRS. I figured that out more than 20 years ago. And now I figured out even more because I have written them letters letting them know that, excuse me, I'm a living man, right? Correct your fucking record. You've got me down as somebody that's deceased, that needs offering, that needs warding, that needs you being taken. There you go. Look up the word. You'll see I have a whole video and a freaking super long PDF about just the one word officer. But the idea being is that once you know what the words mean, and once you can stand your ground, and once you can stay on your square, right? Because I'm not getting away with anything. You are being robbed because of your ignorance if you are filling out 1040s and so forth and tax forms that have nothing to do with you. But you think they do because you've been told they do, because this is the way it's always been. See, this is the thing that's happening now. We are moving from Pisces to Aquarius. We didn't know any better. It's like the children that are being... Okay, again, stand fast at the doors of your mind and guard against whatsoever you let therein, because I let a few things in and now it's fucking horrifying and painful. But anyway, there are children that are see those images, those fucking images. You can't get them out of your head. What is seen cannot be unseen. I would very much recommend that you don't ever see. You just know that these people do horrifying things. Horrifying things. Okay, try to come back. Fuck. All right. The point being is that if you can stand your ground and if you can stay on your square, they can't fuck with you, right? But as soon as you step off that square, oh man, they will bite you on the butt as fast as they can. So quit feeding the beast is my point. Quit filling out forms that don't apply to you. And forms, even just that. What's a form? You're giving yourself form and then signing that form that you're a U.S. person, that you're a thing that needs warding, that you're a, right? Okay, so just stop it. Correct your record. Stop doing it. Stop feeding the beast. And then further, gloves off, knives out now. Don't just take the gloves off. It's time to take the gloves off. Now, you don't just want to be in the leave me alone. No, you have created liability by doing the things that you've done. And I'm not going to look the other way anymore. I'm not going to let it go. But before you even get anywhere near to that, you better correct your record, get your documents straight, get your ID that reflects the fact that you're a living person, get your passport that shows that you're a living person, figure out your electorship and become an L, get seated, get your shares, there's a bunch of shit to do before you go on the offensive. Because, they ain't afraid of you. They got all the guns, they got all the clubs. And they know that when push comes to shove, most everybody that you thought was an ally would disappear if the IRS comes knocking on your door. Right? Now, I never got to the point where the IRS they came looking for me. They really did. But they're so stupid. And afterwards, they went to various places that I had lived before, because before I moved into this place, I had moved quite a few times. And they went to like 3 of my old places before I found a place that I could, that I'm settled here. And I've been here for quite a while. I'm about to probably move again. But it's been like 10 years in this one spot. But before I got to this one spot, there were lots of moves. Okay, they went to all the different places. They went to different landlords and in person. And one place, apparently they threatened this woman because they were sure that I lived there. And they're like, I know he's here. I'm like, he doesn't live here. And I don't even know who he is. I just know that he used to live here. Right. And they were getting pushy. And then she called my old landlord, who was a friend of mine. And she called up and said, "What kind of fucking trouble are you in?" I said, "I'm not in trouble. They are." And then same thing. They sent old letters, and they sent letters to my old address. I mean, like from when I was a child address, and I lived in that place for like, I don't know, 35 years. So they sent letters to that address, thinking that I would never see the letters. Then I would default, right? They were doing the 30 thing, but see, they were doing it maliciously. They were doing it without clean hands. Because what they were doing is hoping that I would default because I would never get the letters because they sent them to the other place, but they could say that they sent the letters to my old address and I didn't respond, so now they can take further action. They did not count on the fact that Maui's a small place, and my old landlord and I, especially since I'd lived there for 30 years, and anyway, it's a long story with that house. But anyway, when she got the letter, she called me on the phone and said, "Hey, I got some letters from the IRS here. You seem to be in trouble." I was like, one more time, I'm not in trouble. They are. But had I not responded to those letters, I would have been in trouble. Right. So I do not recommend you go down this path. One, if you have a faint heart. Two, if you're not willing to do some fighting and writing. Three, and again, damn it. More potent than all of their guns and all of their dogs and all of their badges is this thing I'm holding in my hand. Okay, so again, haven't paid them a dime because I don't owe them a dime, and they know it, and they have now let me know that, yeah, we know. What is it? I know they know that I know that they know that I don't owe. Right? Simple as that. But I wouldn't recommend just like quit paying your taxes. Like, oh, I'm going to stop. Okay, if you paid tax last year, you better pay it this year. That whole system is going down, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to come after you if you fuck up or if you give them the opportunity. So don't give them the opportunity. Get your fucking paperwork done in advance. Do you know how much? Okay, I'm not even going to go there, but I just understand that not having to pay tax every year. You know how much money that is over the last 20 years? I mean, even if I was only making like, crap wages, like 30 grand a year or something like that, how much is that in tax? Or 50 grand, or I don't know what you guys consider money. But anyway, but the idea being is that I haven't paid them. They have gotten not a dime to bomb children from me. They have given the Pope and the Queen nothing from me in the last 20 years. This is going on the 20-year anniversary. Right? And it was a big fight before that. It took many years, many moons. I started in 1996 is when I first went down the road. I didn't do anything. I paid my tax, even though I knew I didn't owe it. And then I educated myself well enough to extricate myself from that, but I didn't finish the job. I'm now finishing the job. And I am foreign to these people. In fact, they're alien. Washington, D.C. is not domestic to me. I am. Oops, what does it do with it? Bruh, I just had it. Never mind. There's a bajillion books. Anyway, non-domestic. Okay, so and it's become quite clear that DC is non-domestic. Are there soldiers in the Capitol still? Did they put up fences and barbed wire and shit? You guys gonna be so, like I said, just be of good cheer because what's coming, and see, this is what you gotta help. You can't just sit back and be like, "Oh, Trump, save us, save us." Ain't nobody saving you but you. Okay, yeah, he's gonna. Okay, I can't. There's gonna be shit going down here soon. There is a military operation going on that you are not privy to. First rule of Fight Club: do not fucking talk about Fight Club. There is shit happening. There is absolutely shit. If you pay attention, you'll notice that quite a few CEOs stepped down. A lot of things have happened. A lot of people are not signing up for re-election. A lot of things. If you just pay attention, shit's happening. Okay. The timeline is not as fast as either you or I would like. I thought they were going to fucking do stuff last April. We're coming up on a new April, and it's still, dude. I love Biden. Because it's just so ridiculous. And people are starting to figure out, even Fox News was talking about, I should put a link there. Is it the same guy? It's not even the same guy. Is it an actor? Is it a clone? Is it what the fuck? They don't look the same. Their ears are not the same. What the fuck is going on here? All right, something's fucky. Even my most brain dead dumb Democrat friends have figured out that something's fucky here. We don't know what's fucky, but something's fucky. They can't put their finger on it, but something's fucky. Okay, all I can say is if you think Trump walked away after all that stuff, this is what I did talking about in the other video, that after years of following Kue, after years of following that letter of the alphabet, and now they're just, I'm really, look up Blue Anon. That's the greatest thing. But I mean, now they're trying to, really all of this hullabaloo in magazines, mainstream media, and so forth over a LARP. Why aren't they censoring flat earthers? Why aren't they censoring Bigfooters? Why aren't they censoring? I mean, on and on. But no, these guys, these are dangerous. They're dangerous. Don't you all read that stuff, because if you read that stuff, you're going to be dangerous too. People started waking up. People started seeing their signs and symbols. People started understanding that. And I'm just going to do it in black and white. Right? That's supposed to be a slice of. Okay. People are starting to figure out. Wait a minute. Yeah, shit. There's stuff's going on. Now, these people are. Like I said, it's trauma. I'm traumatized. As simple as that. I mean, because it's like PTSD. Don't look. Just understand these people are sick. You don't need to see for yourself. You, honest to God, you don't need to see for yourself. Some of these people, some of your friends, they're the most brain dead, are going to need the electroshock therapy that those images are. But overall, you don't need to see it, right? I mean, just understand these people are sick beyond your ability to understand sickness, and it'll lower your vibration and allow all, I mean, yeah. So it took me a long time to climb back out of it. It took me a while to get to the point where I could even just fucking sleep at night. Right? I mean, anyway, point being is you feed that with your tax dollar. You feed that with your ignorance. You feed that. You stop feeding that, please. Please stop feeding that. If for no other reason, never mind all the other stuff. How about just having more money to put on the table? How about having more the ability to, I don't know, feed your kids or have a better birthday party or make payments on the car or whatever, just because you're not giving that. And then the other thing, charitable. The money that you would have been giving to these idiots to prosecute wars and do all kind of nefarious things all around the planet, why don't you choose to, I don't know, homeless shelter, food bank, save the whales, whatever the fuck it is you that is dear and near to your heart. You use your money for that thing. The government doesn't know better than you. They fucking straight up don't. And understand that the government, there is no. They don't know better than you, and they cannot give anything to anyone that they didn't take from somebody else. So what they've done is they take huge amounts of money in tax and then turn around and gave you $600 or $1,400 or whatever. But they took like $5,000, right? And then they line their own pockets. All right, just stop it. Just stop doing it. Stop doing it. Just stop. Okay, you can't stop until such time as you arm yourself with some knowledge. Part of arming yourself with knowledge is reading, watching videos like this, watching other videos from other people that have done it. Right? I don't hardly ever spend time even on the tax thing because I'm past that, literally. Right? But I'm not past the point where if they stop me on the side of the road, I can't just stand there and say, well, I'm not engaged in commerce, and because of the admiralty law. Yeah, see, try to explain it to the guy with an IQ cap and a gun on the side of the road in the middle of the night in the rain. Probably he's just going to beat you on the head with a club, stick you in the back of his squad car, and take you down to the station. But if you got your paperwork in order ahead of time, he ain't doing that because he understands that, yeah, you can sue his bonds the next day and he'll be looking for work the next fucking day. Because no insurance company is going to give, keep them on and continue writing their bonds, and they cannot do that. Right? They're working with license. And understand, these guys, it's like Taco Bell or McDonald's. Okay, except Taco Bell and McDonald's employees with guns. But if you don't have a contract with Taco Bell or McDonald's and you didn't sign up for work there or whatever, the manager at McDonald's can't tell you what time to show up at McDonald's. Well, he can, but you're like, I don't work here, right? So the manager at your local court, well, you call him a judge, can write an order and tell you to show up in court, and you can say, I don't work there. I'm not an employee. I don't have a contract. I don't have to show up. I'll tell you what, I'll write you this document instead and explain to you why. And if you do it correctly, they will leave you alone. If you do it incorrectly, now you're going to have some problems because you didn't show up when they told you to. But they can invite you to a party and you don't have to come unless you think you have a contract. And, you might have a contract. You might have some documents that you sign that make them think you have a contract. So you have to tell them in advance that you don't have that contract. Well in advance, like today. So that if you get a ticket a year from now, it's already handled because you already did your paperwork now. Okay, so you need to know what to say and who to say it to. And if again, coming back, if you can start off by asking questions. I asked the Ameritrade, do you obey the laws of the United States when it comes to liens and levies? And they wrote me this convoluted letter back. Because I had a feeling that the IRS was going to try and lien my brokerage. Sure enough, they did. But I got the money back. Right? And then after you do that a few times, and they try to lien and levy you and stuff, and you get the liens removed and so on and so forth, hopefully you don't have to go there. But if you do, eventually you're not worth it. Let's go get somebody who's ignorant. Let's go get somebody poor. Let's get somebody who all we have to do is write them a letter and they'll fucking bend over backwards and let us fuck them. Right? Don't be one of those people. Simple. Stuff's not hard. Okay. Oh, guys are writing like crazy over here. All right. So the 300 words is there, isn't it? Did I put it there? You said checking. Yes. All right. So you've got 300. That's just the very start of this journey. I have put links to other law places. There are a couple of websites where I can spend all freaking day and not even get through all the information that they have there. Kirk's Law Corner is another one. This guy in Idaho. Good old boy. Right? Doesn't pronounce the words correctly all the time, but that's okay. His heart is in the right place, and he's like, yeah, let's go after the bar. Why would you want to go after the bar? And see, now you find out from first-hand experience, the bar don't work for us. The bar is DOJ, the bar is FBI, the bar is, right? Those are attorneys with guns. Attorney, go look up that word. But they don't work for us. They owe for us, but they don't work for us. And they certainly aren't servants to us. They are not public servants. They serve somebody else. The Privy Council, the Queen, the Pope, the other two. I mean, what does the star of, or the star? What does the flag of DC look like? What do those 3 stars stand for? DC, the Vatican, and the City of London. See, but you don't know flag law because football was more important, right? Like one day I remember, and I have hardly played since. I knew way too much about D&D, and I knew way too much about Lord of the Rings. Oh, and I got to do some videos about Tolkien was trying to tell us. He knew about Duns, right? Moria, where you can go under the mine. You can start on one side of the mountain and come out on the other side of the mountain. He knew about. He knew the One Ring, right? Contracts, right? Tom Bombadil puts the ring on, nothing happens because he wasn't subject to the contract law. It's all in allegory, except he did it in fantasy. And he tells you the history. That Lord of the Rings, it's everything in fantasy. He didn't make up much of anything. He just turned it into a fantasy story. But anyway, the point being is that these people are all around you, and they are not what you think. You think it's one thing, but it turns out to be another thing. The Vatican turns out to be another thing. The City of London, that's all of our money. That's all the money. And they already own it all. They create it all. So it's never about the money. It's about the control. Right? Dollar hegemony. It's not about the dollar itself. It's about the the control that that hegemony represents. Because having the world reserve currency, we're able to control other countries. Period. Oh, it has come up since we're going down that road a little bit. Have you figured out that they tried to put a hit on a Saudi Arabian prince and it went south? And so they sprayed the crowd with some bullets and got away. The Mossad was trying to get rid of a prince. That was Las Vegas, and and that's what they think of you, peasants. We'll just spray them with bullets, and the media will cover. And years later, you find out, yeah, that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to put a hit on a prince who happened to be in Vegas at the time because they loved their gambling and women, and right, and it's legal. All the shit there is legal. And then it didn't work out because Prince's bodyguards were actually pretty fucking on it, and so were some other people. And so they got into some firefights, and Mossad had to run away, and the Prince was air flown out of there. Now, I put a video here, and I can put a video again, but Trump went around the world. Remember his little roll run tour? I made a video about that too. Okay, so what they were trying to do is stop what's coming. Nothing stops what's coming. Nothing. Just get it out of your heads that Biden somehow won. And that Kamala is going to be your president, and that nope. Sorry, enjoy it. But now understand that they're going to freak the fuck out when what happens. Because have they gotten any more or any less smug than they were? I see all this stuff about, oh, the Democrats are regretting voting for Biden now, aren't they? Now that gas price. No, they're fucking not. No, they are not. The rank and file is too fucking stupid to even begin to have regret. They're still talking about putting their face masks on and getting their shots, and you should get your shot too, and blah blah blah. They ain't smart enough to be stupid. I mean, they can't even feel stupid because they ain't that smart. They are pleased as punch with themselves, and some of these guys, they absolutely know that he cheated, and they don't care. I want to explain to me how you're going to unify with these people. These are your enemies. They would have fucking put you and me in camps. Absolutely, they would. Right? They may not have, been the one standing there with the gun, forcing you into the camp, but they would absolutely have looked the other way when somebody with a gun, and see, fuck these guys, right? They would follow the orders. Oh, you TDS people, right? Your TDS on the red and TDS on the blue. The TDS on the red, oh yeah, we love our law enforcement. Who is going to stick you in the camp? And it's not law that they're enforcing. It's statute and policy. They are policy. But they got you to pronounce it police. But them would be the guys that would be sticking you in the camps. They would be the guys coming around to your house. So I don't know what anyway. But the point being is that these guys, they would have no problem sticking your children, sticking you into a re-education camp. They obviously have no problem yelling at you if you won't put a mask on. They have no problem trying to guilt you into getting a shot. Well, no, but go get it yourself. Certainly prove to me how virtuous you are, and show me that I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. I love it when you show me I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. If you don't get that shot, you hate grandma. And you guys are trying to tell me, oh, that's evil. They're mind washed. Yes, they are mind washed, and they are dangerous to themselves. They are dangerous to their children, which is fine. I don't give a fuck. They can be dangerous to their children and themselves all day long. But when they start being dangerous to me and my children, now I got to draw the line. And many of you won't even draw the line there. And I'm particularly annoyed with the Christians. I mean, these demon worshiping Satanists are out in public now. See, they're not going to be able to use the Satan thing that they did last time that they put us back to sleep. Because I'm so pissed about that. I don't even have English words because I'm mad at myself. I'm not mad at them. They put me back to sleep. We had it back in the day. We had the back in the 90s, right? The oh my God, I can't because I'm in front of the camera again. Not the Levon affair. The the Boys Town, the whole thing where they were selling children, and we found out that a lot of it was going on in the Capitol and so forth, and there was a lot of different satanic ritual, and these children were actually being abused and so on. And they came back and that's crazy talk. There's no Satanists, right? And they made a big thing about, oh, it's crazy. These crazy Christians and these crazy conservatives, they see Satan everywhere. Well, now I'm seeing them fucking doing rituals in capitals, and now I'm seeing them being allowed in schools, and now I'm seeing, right. Yeah, somebody put it over there. Franklin, there you go. Thank you so much. Silver, yes, the Franklin affair, right? And they put us back to sleep. Well, they ain't putting us back to sleep this time. Too many people know. And you got to wake up your friends and see they will tease you and make fun and so on and so forth. And right, why do we have 108,000 refugees on our southern border when Trump had it down to, like, I think in all of 2020 there were like 9,000. Now it's only March and there's 108. Do you know how many hundreds, if not thousands, of children can just get lost in the shuffle? Largest. Well, that's not true. It's a large industry. It's not the largest industry, but it's bigger than drugs. 65 billion in the United States alone. What is the most valuable of the traffic is human flesh, either alive or adrenochrome or organs or just straight up the DNA. 65 billion in the United States alone, and there's hard to call because it's a clandestine and disgusting, sick industry. But as much, I've heard numbers as high as $300 billion worldwide, because many sick people on this planet want their and they're want their children, and they're willing to pay for them. And see, we find out about various websites that are involved in that traffic when you have a bookcase for $35,000. Anyway, it's coming out. We're not going back to sleep. The age of the Piscean is over. The age of Aquarius and the age of that where we were able to look the other way is past. Right? We are now at the point where the populace has woken up. Well, it's in degrees. There are some people that are more woke. There are some people that are less woke. But I mean, a lot of people are trying to figure out. Wait a minute. Yeah, that whole scandal, Franklin affair, the gate, right? This. Oh, we'll do that. What's that and what's that? All right, see? And see, this is the other thing. You think this is the first time in history where you weren't allowed to use certain words? Okay, so what did you do? You use code. And then eventually, if it was that long, and believe me, the Romans were very, very keen on censorship and making sure, and again, in the Reformation, and again, the Catholics and so forth. So what do? They use the code words, and you're supposed to know the code. So anyway, this is what is this? This is all about child trafficking right here. This is a delicious slice of pizza. I like pizza, although now it's kind of been ruined for me because every time I take a bite of pizza, I think about things I shouldn't think about. I say it's ruined. Stand fast at the doors of your mind, right? And you guard fiercely whatsoever you let therein, and even more fiercely at the doors of your children's minds. Because if you're not willing to program it, there are plenty of people that absolutely know exactly how this thing works and how to program it. And it's not the physical organ, the brain, it's the mind, the way our psychology works. Right? Because overall, even the dumbest, brain dead, fucktardian loser Democrat is a good person at heart who has had their virtue turned against them. Right? Because they want everybody to be healthy. They want to save everyone. They want it, right? They're Pollyannas. So yeah, they'll put the mask on because, right, they care about their fellow man. And it's not bullshit. They actually do care. And they think that because they can't think for themselves and they have no discernment, they think that is them showing you that they care. And you not wearing one is showing them that you don't care. And You can think of 100 ways where these people have just been twisted because Satan, the Satan, is the great deceiver. That's what they relish it. They love it, right? They get dupe delight. And that's almost to the point where it's been explained to me where it's almost sexual to them. It's almost orgasmic to them when they can fool you the way they fooled so many. They're loving it. Again, think of the little demons just chuckling, right? Those little evil things. And again, that's a personification. It's a consciousness. Oh, that's the last thing what we're going to talk about. And we're going to quit for today. Okay. Because I got stuff to do, believe it or not. I got letters to write. I got more letters to write. I got to execute this and all kind of stuff. This is see, because your contracts are only good for so many years. And I'm letting all of mine expire. And then I'm telling them to correct the records. But anyway, this is my trademark, the Patent and Trademark Bureau, for Crouton Ramon. Right? So there is my trademark right there. I own it. Okay, it expired. I have to go renew it because it's only the contract is only good for so many years, 7 years, 5 years, etc. Right? With Nations, the contract is 70 years. We just came out of bankruptcy. I did a whole video about that. I'm not doing it again. In 1999 is when that last bankruptcy, and we are 20 years in, and they haven't re-upped everything. Let's put it that way. Okay, you and I, but me less than you probably, but all of us are very caught up in the physical form. I do this 100% on purpose. Could I cut my hair? Yes, I could, but I don't. Could I shave? Yeah, and I will probably shave again, but I'm just lazy, right? But the look, and then, ooh, this color right here seems to make a huge difference to a lot of you, right? My favorite thing was being down south. We're colorblind. As soon as I heard that, I knew these were going to be racist motherfuckers. Right? Because if you were colorblind, you wouldn't have to mention you're colorblind. Come to Hawaii and I will show you what it's like to be in a culture that, honest to God, doesn't give a fuck. You can be, my girlfriend is Asian looking. She half Asian, half German, but she Asian looking. Nobody gives a fuck. Right? I could have had a black girl. I could have had a white girl. I could have had a blondie blonde. Nobody can look twice. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. Could have had a Hawaiian girl. Could have had a Filipino girl. It didn't matter. Here, honest to God, doesn't matter. That's not what we look at. Okay, but that's what a lot of the mainlanders look at. Particularly the southern mainlanders are famous for it, but not so much anymore. And I have to say, when I was traveling down south, and I traveled down south for quite a while, understand that in my mathematics career, all 49 states, well, there's 50 states, you understand. I didn't go to Alaska, but I mean, 48 states and Hawaii teaching mathematics. Okay, so I spent quite a bit of time in the big cities down in the South, in the Southland. Those people were good people. They're like Hawaiian people. They have Southern hospitality, and they mean it. Right? They just don't think the races should mix, a lot of them. And I've had conversations where they were like just so racist they didn't even know they were racist. But like, I'm not racist. I just don't think that my daughter should date a black man. Well, then you're kind of racist. But I get it, right? He doesn't have anything against black guys. He just doesn't want his daughter dating one. I get it. At the same time, no. Anyway, the reason why I went down this tangent is because you're so caught up in this color, they understand this, and they understand that it's not, it's this. There's your starfish. They want that. Okay, when it comes to their guys too. So Masons, all the brotherhoods, royal families, all the bloodlines, they fill this, and it's not even this, because you're thinking that it's somehow contained in there and that's your brain. It's not, it's mind, right? So it is the spirit or the thinking, the conceptualization that they want control of. Let's put a little face on this. Okay. So the Phoenicians have changed form over time. They don't look like they used to 2,000 years ago. They look like Barack Obama. They look like what you see as royals now. They didn't always used to look like that either. In Fiji, they are working on transforming themselves into the Fijian and the what they call them colonials, right? These are generally white-skinned people, and if you see Fijians, they're generally dark-skinned people. These guys have a union, and they have this, and now you have a like me, except not quite this light. They're a little, right? Okay, and then another generation from now, and they'll be even lighter, but it'll still be the brotherhood in there. It'll still be the mind of the Mason. It'll still be them controlling that. If you go take a look at the African nations, where are those prime ministers and leaders and presidents educated? And I can, not today, but another day, I'll show you some pictures of the long skulls who have dark skin and were running countries. But you have to understand, it's not the physical form, it's the mind, right? Just taking it down to the point where let's just talk, regular folk. Never mind all the conspiracy theory and bloodlines and Masons and blah, blah, and right, and all the the Phoenician families and so forth, and the Black princes and blah blah blah. Never mind all that. Okay, you can have dark skin and be racist as fuck. Some of the most racist guys I ever ran into were not the white guys, and they were racist in front of me because they thought I was one of them, right? And there's been comedians that have made jokes about it, right? Is well, Whitey's around, right? Oh, yes, I'm massa, yes, I'm massa. But as soon as he leaves, fucking crack, it's fucking crack. I hate this fucking white guys, right? I would much rather, like in Idaho, for example, right? Them boys, like those guys, Idaho and Montana, racist as fuck. Oh my God. Some of them guys, right? But again, good old boys. And when they figured out that I can shoot a gun and I can ride a horse and I can't rope for worth a damn. I can almost rope, but I mean, they figured out this guy's not so bad after all, because I was up there ranching and doing some cattle and timbering and stuff. And I can swing a chainsaw all day long, just like they can. This guy ain't so bad after all, even though I'm the wrong color. Right? So they kind of sort of begrudgingly let me into the boys club. But the idea is that it's here. It's the mind, right? So just because they're white doesn't necessarily mean they're racist. It's their thoughts that are either racist or not. Are you following me here? Okay, so same thing, black, white. You can be racist, black, you can be racist, white, you can be racist, brown, you can be racist, Mexican, you can be racist. Okay, you can be all of those things. You can be brown, black, white, Indian, and you can be a Mason. You can be a Christian. You can be, one of my favorite things is they're like super dark-skinned, absolute Christians in Africa, right? They have accepted the Christ consciousness, and if you spend any time with these guys, yeah, they do Christian things, and they think, and they have read the book, and we have very simple, but their skin is dark, dark, dark. Their skin is, I don't even have anything that's dark as they are. Well, yeah, actually this. I mean, like black-skinned people, right? Okay, and yet they're Christians. Now, a lot of people have a stereotype of Christians that as Christian is a white-skinned, Nordic Jesus-looking kind of person. Well, I can assure you that I've met also some very devout Christians that are very brown because they're Mexicans, because they're Catholics. Okay, it's the mind. It's the mind. It's the mind. Okay, they understand it, that it's the mind. So they have transformed their physical form, but their thoughts are still the same. Their knowledge is still the same. Their degrees are still the same. Now, if you want to follow and get into it, it's Switzerland. It's Switzerland. It's Switzerland. The Swiss. They call themselves Swiss now. They are not. Well, okay, they are Swiss, but they are not Swiss. But Switzerland, that's their home. That's their new place. That's the place. Oh, where didn't get in World War II when we were destroying each other and bombing the fuck out of everybody and killing and murder and mayhem? What nation was absolutely neutral and didn't get bombed? The Swiss. If you follow the Phoenician bloodlines going back in time, they ended up in Switzerland. They used to be in Italy and Rome and Phoenicia, right? Phoenicia, Venice, Before that, they were in Egypt. Before that, they were in the Middle East, in the areas we like to call, right? But the Babylonians and the Sumerians and so forth, these are the Phoenician flesh traders. And they've always been flesh traders. They have traded flesh from time immemorial. They have traded flesh with each other. They have traded flesh with other humans on the planet. They have traded flesh with, and then see, boom, we fall down the rabbit hole with others. Some of those others not from here. Some of those others absolutely from here. They just don't live on the surface. Okay, but the idea is mind. You guys are stuck in form. You got to understand that this is just form. It's got nothing to do with that spirit or that mind. And they understand the concept of bringing in spirit. And that, oh, now we're going to get interesting. Maybe. We'll see how well I can explain this. All right. That double helix that we call the DNA, it is a receiver. You cannot receive information or the soul that we like. We see our language is so piss poor for describing any of this. If your DNA isn't lined up for it. In other words, this body is tuned to the frequency. Some of you call me 100th monkey, some of you call me Crouton Ramon, some of you call me, right? Okay, just don't call me late for dinner. Okay, but I have a certain frequency that can only be received by this DNA, right? Because I'm not in here. You're not in here. There is no, I can take a scalpel and there is nowhere in there that I can find you. You are a receiver, but you're also a sender, right? It's a two-way street. But the idea being is that this DNA is tuned to a certain frequency and vibration that is you. Okay. You can be, okay, but then you get a new body that's tuned to that same frequency and vibration. Well, you forget about everything that happened before, but if it's got the same DNA, it could be a brown body, it could be a white body, it could be, why? Because that DNA obviously flows through what you call a family, right? Generation after generation after generation. So then, yes, I'm going down the path of reincarnation and how it works. It works on the DNA. So yeah, your grandmother could be your daughter in this life, but used to be your grandmother, and now she's dead. Now she's your, right? Okay, I know a lot of people don't believe this. That's fine, right? Let's just right. Take what's good and toss the rest, right? If you're in a chamber of riches, in a treasure room, okay, and there's filth pots in there, golden filth pots, but full of filth. And then there's coins and other things, and chalices full of wine and so forth. Well, then don't fuck around with the filth pots. Take the chalices of wine instead, and the coins, or the rubies, or the gems, and so forth. Take what's good, right, and leave the rest behind. So if this isn't good to you, let it go. But anyway, the idea being is that this DNA strand can be found, and that's why they're so fucking crazy about their bloodlines. Right, so you cannot receive that soul or that spirit if you don't have this DNA. Is this hard to understand? Right? Absolutely. Okay, so the idea being is that they understand that this DNA can be in Barack Obama, can be in Bill Clinton, can be in a Rothschild, can be in in Hillary, can be in, right? And then all they got to do is program that DNA, right? Yeah, there's no more noodles, so just grab it, but stir it up well. We got chicken soup going on here because we got a lot of rain and stuff. Anyway, the point being is that this DNA is the receiver of the signal, and then once they it's like in the Star Wars series, right? They were looking for a certain, what was it called in the Star Wars?
No, not mitochondria.
It wasn't mitochondria, but there was a name for it, right? That they were looking for. And see, and what? Baby Yoda had.
Midichlorians.
There you go, right? The midichlorians, there you go, right? Same principle. If you had a lot of those midichlorians, the Force would be strong with you. If you didn't have it, then you probably couldn't use the Force and you were a muggle. Okay, same principle. And see, they're not lying to you. It's a fantasy story, but the principle is correct. Oh, let's pause here with the DNA thing for just a second. How many characters do you need to read a newspaper in Chinese? Just for fun, approximately
25 to 50,000.
25 to 50,000 characters, right? Okay, and the average Chinese person, 25 to 50,000 characters. That's not even a smart one, right? Okay,
That's crackers.
That's crackers, exactly. Okay, how many do you have? Maybe 1,000?
Maybe.
That's what I mean. So he's only got like 25,000 more to go before he can even just read a newspaper in China. So 300, right? Screw you guys if you can't do 300 words. Please. It's the same way when I have the math teachers going, oh, we can't teach them 400 math facts. That's crazy. So we're just going to treat them the 9 by 9 matrix. And most of these kids, 7 times 5, they can't even do that. 9 times 9, they don't even know that. Right? 6 times 8, they can't tell you what that is. 7 times 8, they can't tell you what that is. That's only 81 facts. With my students, I take them out to 400 facts, a 20 by 20 matrix, right? Chinese, no issue, right? 20 to 30,000 characters, that's like not even a smart person. 60 to 80,000 characters, oh, now you're starting to get to learn men in Chinese, right? So if you can't do 300 fucking words, I don't know what to say to you. And that's just the start. Again, that's just the start. Okay, let's get back to the DNA. A little commercial. Close the door and go away. All right, so a hungry teenage boy, like his 5th bowl. They ain't small bowls, and he munched half of this thing, and I got to this much and I couldn't finish it. Anyway, growing boys, they need nutrients, and that's the thing, nutrients, right? Real food. This is right. This was a great birthday present from one of his aunts. But the idea is, no, it's not processed. Didn't come out of a box. It grew off a tree. And then we put it in our mouth. Oh, gee, how come we're healthy and many of our friends aren't? Anyway, back to the DNA. So the idea is that once they discover this DNA, they can fix the mind using the 33 degrees or whatever it is that they're in. Because there's lots of brotherhoods. The Mormons don't do 33 degrees. They only have, anyway, we're not going there. But the idea is that this knowledge can be spoon-fed into this DNA. And what do? You get a Mason. You get a Rothschild. You get a Carnegie. You get one of those bloodlines. You get one of the families that knows what all those other bloodlines know. And what they know is that you are a Muggle and that you are worthy of being eaten, and that your blood is for them to use, and that your body and everything that you do is theirs and can be given to others for wealth or knowledge or technology or whatever it is. And they can look exactly like me. They can look exactly like Bill Clinton. They can look like the Rothschilds. They can look like the kings and queens of England. They can look like the chancellors of Spain. They can look like, right? But it's the same fucking people using the same knowledge to put it in there. What makes your personality, right? There's nature and nurture. So they understand both nature and nurture, right? Nature being the DNA that they're looking for, nurture being the knowledge that they put upon that DNA. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, because the idea is that you guys are caught up in form. So you think, see, they knew how easy was it to fool everybody with the form of Barack Obama? How easy is it for them to trick you into thinking that it's on your side because it has color or it's female or it's gay or it's whatever it is? Very easy, as it turns out. Oh, they're one of us. No, they're not one of you. In fact, more than likely, if it's on TV or has risen to any kind of high office, they are exactly not like you and me. And see, you think that they would be, right? You can't conceive. You literally can't conceive of the evil these people do, because it would never cross your mind to do the things that they do. You wouldn't even think of it, right? There's a lot of Democrats still in that corner. They wouldn't even think of ripping off their fellow man because they're good people, and yet they vote for people that would absolutely rip off their fellow man. They vote for people that would absolutely take their children and torture them until the adrenaline is so high, and then when it gets to a certain point, and they've been doing this forever. It is the highest of the high-priced drugs. And if you look for it, you'll begin to find it in pop culture. There was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. There's a lot of different things where they mention the fact that there is such a thing as adrenochrome. And we didn't even know what it was. And now we know what it is. And there's cheap adrenochrome, which comes from, animals. And then there's the real deal adrenochrome that they pay a huge dollar for. And that comes from us. And they like it in flavors. You want Filipino adrenochrome. You want black adrenochrome. You want Asian adrenochrome. You want white blondie adrenochrome. And they have fucking menus. And then understand what those menus represent, and understand how it comes to being, and then figure out how to put a stop to it. You can't do it broke dick. And you can't do it without understanding the law. And you can't do it without understanding what the fucking words mean. And you can't do it if you can't stand up in court. And you can't do it if they can fucking bend you over and you will throw your hands up and scream when guys with guns and dogs come to your door because, IRS. Right? This is a fucking fight, guys. You're thinking that this is a war. It is. And see, what you're thinking is bombs and everybody shoot each other and bomb out, right? And bomb and stuff, and right, and you'll put your kid, right? Okay, again, government has control of your mind to the point where you'll put your freaking kids into a situation, 19-year-old boys, where they go to a murder fest, and it's kill or be killed for ideas. Okay, they don't care. All right, so this time, let's not do that. That's so 20th century. Let's do a different thing. Let's use medical tyranny, and we'll get control of their minds, and we'll get them to kill themselves. Is it working? It's working. They don't care as long as we die. It's a war, people. You cannot win the war pretending that somebody that, waiting for Trump to come save you, or whoever the fuck it is you think's coming to save, or Jesus, even better. We're waiting for Jesus. Jesus is going to fix everything. No, he's not. I believe the saying is, God helps those who help themselves. So again, when it comes to this, there are plenty of people, you can tell them all about the vaccine and how it's going to cause them harm, and they're going to call you a crazy conspiracy theorist and go get it anyway. I got my shot. Look, here's my passport. Look, I got all 3 of my shots. Look, I can go to any concert I want now, and I can travel on an airplane and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. You can't help those people. Right? Of the 17 here, I don't know how many of you will actually fucking just do something other than watch these videos and think, oh, yeah, well, that would be neat. It sure would be nice not to pay my taxes. Sure would be cool if I could, hand an ID to an officer and then he'd leave me alone and I could keep going along on my merry way. Yeah, that should be cool, but I don't know if I want to, bother filling out the paperwork. I'll just bend over and let them stick a swab up my ass while I put my 3 fucking masks on. All right, that's you. That ain't me. There's paperwork to be done. There's knowledge to be gained. And it's a fight. They are in the process of exterminating us. They expect to kill, and I think they're going to get away with it, at least 100 million Americans by 2025. 100 million. Now, they're not going to do it with concentration camps and gas chambers and nuclear bombs. They're going to do it by getting control of your mind and getting you to do it to yourself. Period. And if you want to call it crazy conspiracy theory, good for you. Fine. I'll take it. I don't care. Go prove me wrong. Go get the shot. Don't give a fuck at this point. Right? There are so many stories now about, never mind if it kills you on the spot. How about if it just makes it so that you can't have children? That's a thing. What if it does kill you on the spot? Right? But this is a fucking war, guys. This is not a. This is no longer you get to be passive, and if you just stay in your house and everything will be okay, because it's obviously not going to be okay. Because you stay in your house, eventually they'll come to your house. So might be time to take some proactive action, and just you don't try to save the. Just take care of your own, as we say in Hawaii. Take care of your fucking own. Right? Never mind your neighbor. Never mind. Right? You, your wife, or husband, your children. That's it. Not even your mom and dad, not even your brothers and sisters. If you can get your brothers and sisters, better yet. Your nieces and nephews, better yet. If you can get your mom and dad, better yet. But even take the guy from SGT report, right? His 83-year-old mother taking a shot. At that point, it's kind of the point's moot. But if she's a childbearing age, at 20, that shot for the rest of their lives. And plus, it's an RA. It screws with this in ways that we don't even understand. And see, this is the thing that many of you think, right, that this is the first time we've been this far along when it comes to our knowledge of the body. And no, they've known about this thousands of years. They've just kept us ignorant. Right? If you take a look at, they had technology. That's a whole other video. We can talk about the technology that's been hidden from us. Right? And all the while they tell us, you're the smartest, wisest thing that's ever happened here on the planet. This is high. It's a one-way street. It's never been higher than this. Right? Saruman in your ear, and you believe them. Right? They're freaking getting rid of us. That's what's happening. They set it in stone in Georgia and told you, we'd like to get it down to about 500 million. Now that we've got the technology and so forth, and robots and so on, and this computer and so forth, we don't need billions of you anymore. We used to need billions of you, but we don't need billions of you anymore. So like about 500 million, that's a big enough number that the 500 million that are left are still going to be so fucking ignorant. They're going to, we're so lucky to be alive, that they won't recognize the fact that just like right now that you're being farmed, and adrenochrome is being harvested, organs are being harvested, DNA is being harvested, blood is being harvested. 800,000 people missing in the United States every year. 800,000. Well, that sure seems like a lot until you can do some math. Because 800,000 out of 350 million, not that big of a number, really. Not even 1%. We don't miss them. We don't notice until somebody shoves it in your face. Right? They've been farming us. So if you're not one of the 800,000, well, then you're happy. But even with just 800,000, every one of you knows somebody who knows somebody, right? You're not 6 degrees of separation, who has either been kidnapped, had a child that was taken by CPS, or so on and so forth. If you look around, see, there's a rule of 200. And then it starts getting fast. Everybody knows 200 people. Those 200 people know 200 people. Do the math. How much are we up to already? Right? And then those 200 people just keep multiplying by 200. Why is it 200? Because the average wedding, I used to know this from actuarial science and so on. But the average wedding, 200. The average funeral, 200. The average birthday party, 200. Used to be, maybe not anymore, because only 5 of you can gather at a time. But about 200, right? The rule of 200. Okay, so you get that right. Okay, in that amount, you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows one of these. A parent that's missing a child, a parent that had a child raped. I can think of, I hate to say it, but I mean way too many. A child that's been damaged by vaccines. Oops, you said the word again. A child that's been a child that's autistic. How many of you know? There was a time when a child that has cancer. Because that's what they've done to us. They have dumbed us down to the point where we'll harm ourselves with the food we eat, and then we look to them for their pharmacology. Go look up that word. What does pharmacology mean? They're not makers of medicine. All right. So the idea being is that it's the laws of large numbers. There's 7 billion of us on the planet, and they were taking off quite a few of us, or harvesting quite a few of us, and we were none the wiser. Now we're starting to wake up. Well, now that we've woken up, they're going to wipe out just like they did before, because a lot of people woke up in the Reformation, apparently, and they got put back to sleep by the torch and by burning books and by, right? To the point where you think that, the Moors were never here in the United States or, North America. See, I still got it. Anyway, those are hard habits to break, but it's the North American continent. United States is not a place, right? Anyhow, the idea is that these guys had us so dumbed down that we're harming ourselves. And then, of course, they're more than happy to offer us solutions. And now they've gotten to the point where they don't need us all. So because notice, Satan is a gentleman and Lucifer is a gentleman, however you want to look at that guy, and gentlemen always give notice. So when you start this journey of holding these people to account and maybe making them liable for the things that they've done, it starts with notice. You may not ambush them. So again, you can't even walk into court and just say, I don't consent. That's an ambush. What you need to do is let them know you don't consent ahead of time, so they know what they're dealing with when you walk into court. And better not to walk into court in the first place, if you can possibly avoid it. But the idea being is that, they're going to take it down to about, to start, how do I know this? I've heard Joe Boy say, we're going to hand out 100 million vaccines. Oh, no, wait, not 100,000. 100 million vaccines using the military. Some people are saying, that's a cover so that the military can get into the streets to protect us. Oh, please give me strength. Actually, don't give me strength. Give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'll kill somebody. But the idea is they're taking out 100 million of us. That's the plan. Are they going to execute this plan? Well, we'll see. Right? As we speak, because I didn't think people would be stupid enough to do this, but as we speak, you understand it was 410 to 128. I'm talking about the Electoral College. I'm talking about the this thing that just happened back in November, and they installed this guy, and then told you that this guy had more than this guy, and most of you are so innumerate that you went, okay. Well, the media said that he's president, so he must be president then. Well, I guess it was a LARP, and we'll just go back to it. No, if you do that, you're going to get exterminated. They're coming for you. Actually, that's a lie. Oh, well, that's not a lie. That's a half truth. That's wrong, but true. They're not coming for me. They're not coming for you. They're not coming for our kids. They're coming, children. Kids are suitable for sacrifice. Those are baby goats that are suitable for sacrifice. They're not coming for our children. They're coming for our grandchildren. And when I say coming for, there's a good chance that a lot of people won't have grandchildren. Right? So they're not coming for us. They're coming for they're trying to get us down to the point, right? Okay, now, if they can make you believe that that there was no vote fraud, I don't know if the what do you call it, we'll pick that up, the AI. But anyway, because they don't even want us talking about that. I got a 90-day fucking ban on Facebook for mentioning those are the first letters, right? That one stands for vote, and this one stands for fraud. Anyway, and actually, it's not even that. It's this, right? Election. Anyway, so they've got a lot of people believing that the guy that did this had more than that. And how do they do it? Because they have control of the mind. They have the media. So they're able to make people think that, somehow the guy that was in his basement beat the guy that was doing, at one point, I think it was in like 5 a day, rallies that had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people chanting, "We love you." But the guy that couldn't put 6 people in a room, he won. Yeah. And there's people that actually believe that, and they'll fight you on it. That's how fucking dumbed down we've been. Yep. Oh, see, look. See, you guys ain't asleep. This is the thing. See, this is not the regular crowd, right? This is not the muggle that's sitting there eating, Doritos and watching CNN. This is not that crowd. This crowd, I have to say, is you self-selected, and even just from your comments, I can tell that a lot of this is, yeah, that good comments. This, yep. Okay, all that stuff's coming out though. Truth can take care of itself. All Hunter's stuff is coming out. I mean, there's lots of stuff coming, right? But the idea being is that we are about to come out of this. This guy isn't gonna just walk away because they'll eat him and his family. That might be a little more literal than you'd like. So he knows that he can't just walk away from this. You can't. Once you're in the club, you can't get out of the club. All right. He was a made man, and he was made. I mean, the ultimate made man. And okay, once you're a made man, you ain't getting out of the club. All right. So he either finishes the job, or everything he loves is going to get burned to the ground. What do you think he's going to do? I'm not worried about it. I'm not even slightly worried about it. Yeah, I'll get a full on syllabus put together, a reading list put together. Here's 50 books. Oh, here's a book that you want to read, and buy it from this guy, Wayne Jett. Anyway, there's definitely a book you want to read. Right, The Fruits of Graft. Absolutely worth the time. Look, this one I'm saving it. Right, I haven't even opened it. I've got another copy, and I think you can get a PDF of this. Anyway, this worth the time to read. Absolutely, positively, freaking time to worth to read. I'm getting silly. I need to quit. Worth the time to read. But again, your time is precious, my friends. That is the most precious thing. And I have, like you, wasted so much of my time every day. Now, I work on language. I work on Duolingo. Find me on Duolingo. Crouton Ramon is on Duolingo. And what am I studying on Duolingo? I'm studying Spanish, I'm studying Dutch, I'm studying Latin, and I'm studying German, and I'm studying, that's it, I think. And I'm going to add some more language, because language, again, and also because I teach math, and because math is a language, the more language I learn and I see how they teach the language of this kind of language, it makes me a better teacher of that language, the math language. Manly P. Hall. There are excellent videos here on YouTube. Use this device for what it was intended for in the very beginning, which was not to mollify and entertain and dumb you down, but to enlighten and inform. All of the universities have classes that you can attend online. You can watch all of Saplovsky's lectures from Stanford University online on YouTube videos. And if not YouTube, then there's BitChute, and if not BitChute, there's the thing. It's my Biden impression right there. But I mean, there's all manner of platforms now that you can, Vimeo, and there's another one. Oh, Rumble. That's I don't put anything up on Rumble, but because I'm still here. Right? Eventually, they're going to kick me off, or maybe they're not. Maybe it'll change, because I'm pretty sure this is the reverse psychology. If you're still on YouTube, you can't be, right? Because I mean, everybody I like is gone. SGT Report's gone. Jordan Slather's gone. Greg Hunter's gone. Amazing Polly's gone. Sarah Westall's gone. Every fucking buddy's gone. They kicked them off. Right? Huge amount of censorship. There should be another clue. But somehow I'm still here. The idea being is that we have these devices that you can do. All knowledge is at your fingertips, practically. So use your time wisely. Educate self, educate others. I spent, oops, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is, way over there. Hold on. I must have spent 12 hours yesterday. Well, okay, maybe not 12 hours, 10 hours. It's probably not an exaggeration. Just doing research on this. There are so many papers. There's like, this is health in a bottle. Like, find out about it. What else? Anyway, whatever it is, if you're interested in it, learn. Now, the thing is, got to learn law. Got to learn some of that stuff. Fortunately, it's all here. Well, not all of it, but I mean, because a lot of stuff isn't going to be online. But I mean, you can get pointers on where to go, and then see. Don't get caught up in statute and code. Get caught up in understanding contract law, understanding trust law. And trust law is huge. There's like 80 different kinds of, there's more than 80 different kinds of trust. Anybody that tells you that they know all about trust law, they're liars or they're deceived themselves. Contract law, right? But you're going to get, what they want you to do is get bogged down in the code. What you need to step out is get and understand the common law, which applies to men. And then you're going to need a little bit to know about the nonsense that is the code and statutes that applies to your straw man, to your in legis, to your all caps dead thing. You need to know a little bit about that, just enough so you can get them out and get out from under the whore of Babylon and understand that you are authorized representative, right? You are. I are. And you are authorized to represent these things. And then we went over yesterday, I went over the equity maxims. And I'm going to do one last equity maxim thing, and then I'm going to quit. We have been going, whoa, 2:30 again. Good God, I can't shut up. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Nope, not that one. This one? Yes. All right, I'll put it there again, even though you have it, but I'll just put it there again so you can look it over. Now where'd you go? Here it is. Stick that right there. All right, this is the page I'm going to be reading from. And we're going to come down to this. Just one story. The Rees story. Let's see here. Clean hands is a good one. About equity coming with clean hands. All right, so he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. So I'm just going to read this to you because I know a lot of times you're just too lazy to read it and you just rather hear it anyway. But again, if you're too lazy to read it, you're fit to be a slave. If you're too lazy to read the documents that you need to then learn the words and understand the concepts, you're fit to be a slave. And that's the way they look at you. And that's your out. So if you are, may your chain set lightly upon you. And it's fine. It is absolutely fine. Okay, let's see here. Let's just start from the beginning and read the whole thing. It's often stated that one who comes into equity must come with clean hands, or alternatively, equity will not permit a party to profit from his own wrong. I like that. Equity will not permit a party to profit from his own wrong. In other words, if you ask for help about the actions of someone else, but have acted wrongly, if you ask for help about the actions of someone else, but have acted wrongly, then you do not have clean hands. You may not receive help, the help you seek. For example, if you desire your tenant to vacate, you must not have violated the tenant's rights. However, the requirement of clean hands does not mean that a bad person cannot obtain the aid of equity. Equity does not demand that its suitors shall have led blameless lives. I like that. The defense of unclean hands only applies if there is a nexus, what's that word mean, between the applicant's wrongful act and the rights he wishes to enforce. For instance, Riggs v. Palmer. Oh, all right, well, we'll go into it. A man who killed his grandfather to receive his inheritance more quickly and for fear that his grandfather may change the will or may have changed his will, lost all right to the inheritance, obviously. All right, this one I like better. DC Builders Limited versus Rees. A small building firm did some work on a house for a couple named Rees. The bill came to £732, which the Rees had already paid, of which the Rees had already paid $250. When the builders asked for the balance of £482, the Rees announced that the work was defective and that they were only prepared to pay £300. Now, you also might understand that in this situation, well, actually, I'm not even going to go there. Let's not cloud the issue. But the idea being is that both sides could have used a concept called conditional acceptance. But anyway, we'll skip it. As the builders were in serious financial difficulties, as the Rees knew, they reluctantly accepted the £300 in compensation, and this is in quotation, in completion of the account. The decision to accept the money would not normally be binding in contract law. See, go read your contract law and understand why that sentence is correct. And afterwards, the builders sued the Rees for the outstanding amount. Now, the Rees claimed that the court should apply the doctrine of equitable estoppel when which can make promises binding when they normally would not be binding. Okay, however, Lord Denning, the judge, refused to apply the doctrine on the grounds that the Rees had taken unfair advantage of the builders' financial difficulties and therefore had not come with clean hands. Okay, so this is what you got to be able to do. This is what you have to, when you read these cases and so forth, or when you cite cases in case law, or when you put documents in. You gotta, okay, so what's the point of that? Okay, well, the point of that was the doctrine of clean hands, and you might take a quote out of it or something, but you need to know what the case was about. What's the Weeks case about? I can name a bunch of cases that people use in, cut and paste into their documents. Don't do that. And they have no idea what the case is about. Okay, that case was about a family that wasn't going to pay the debt that they owed because they knew that the builder was was in hardship or having a hard time, and they were tight with their money and decided not to pay them the full amount because they knew that these guys could use any money that they could get, and they would probably be more than willing to take an unfair offer. Okay, so what is that? Okay, that's doctrine of clean hands. So they weren't getting. So they went to court, and when they were fighting over the amount, and they went to go settle it to a third party because they couldn't come to a settlement themselves, the judge said, "No, you didn't come in clean hands. So yeah, pay them the rest of the fucking money." Okay, that's the point of the story. That's the point of the court case. Okay, there are other ones where it was. I can think of 100 other cases. You need to read the cases and understand what the case is about so that you can apply it to your own situation. Okay, because that situation right there may or may not apply to you. All right, so too many people take and just cut and paste. Oh, this is a good quote, and I think I'll put that in my document. Oh, look, this thing said that you don't have jurisdiction. So, well, then you better know what the case that it came from was about, so that if you are ever queried about it, you can answer intelligently. And there was one, my favorite one was he had put without prejudice in his document, and he was a hick. And the judge asked him what without prejudice meant. And the guy said, well, I'm not racist against anyone. Boom! Do you think that freaking judge came down on that guy? Right? Because he didn't even know what without prejudice means. Right? And I do know without prejudice. I put it on many documents, and I have signed tickets and so forth. UCC 1308 without prejudice. What does it mean? You better be able to explain yourself. You better know what the words mean. So if you ever do get to the point where you're actually standing up in court having to defend your documents, you're not a dumbass, because their job is to take you apart and collect as much wealth from you as possible and scare you back into the cage. That's their fucking job. They're good at it. So if you want to surmount this, you better know what the words mean. You better have an understanding of, if you're going to cite cases, and see, what is it? Carl Lentz? I'm man. Right? I claim my estate. I'm living. You're dead. You corporation. I'm man. Done. I'm not going to use a whole bunch of words. What are you going to do now? Because if it, object, and you need to know how to object. But anything they do, they're now out of order. They're now, and see, that's the other thing. Well, out of order. When you get from point of contact, the police officer should inform you of his name. He should give you an ID before he asks for your ID. Otherwise, he's out of uniform. And see, I had a police officer that was so foolish that he didn't even know what out of he thought that I meant that he wasn't wearing the right uniform clothing. No. All right. And that's the thing. These guys, they're just trying to do the job. Now, a lot of them are nefarious, but I mean, a lot of these guys, especially like local boys, I grew up with these guys. They ain't trying to, I mean, all they're trying to do is do their job. They want drugs out of this community. They want you not to harm each other. So they took up the mantle, and then they found out that, ooh, this might not be what I thought it was. Because I have a lot of friends who are ex-police officers. They used to be police, and they're no longer policy because they realized that they were policy when they thought that they were something else. Okay. So the idea being is you have got to educate yourself so that you can educate others, and don't be trying to educate those, right? What does it say in this book? As I interrupted myself again, but God helps those who helps themselves. So they can't be helped. If they can't be helped, go find somebody that you can help. And again, I can't help you more than, look, there's the door. Look, if you go through that door, there's some liberty over there. How do you get through the door? Well, you need to know some contract law. Hey, you need to know these words. Hey, you know, right? I can't do it for you. I can't read the words for you. I can't write the documents for you. For fuck sure, I can't write the documents for you. And anybody that tells you that they will write documents for you, you better be pretty suspect right away. You got to write your own documents in your own hand. That's important. Nobody does this for you. You have to do it for yourself. And if you can't do it for yourself, you're fit to be a slave. I'll say it again. You're fit to be a bonded free man. You're not fit to be free. You're not fit to have liberty. You're not fit to be, quote unquote, in the club. Okay, you have all the knowledge you need. You have this device right here that you can look up pretty much anything, although they are starting to hide stuff from you for sure, right? You'll need to go to a library probably to get books. Amazon is now going to start telling you what books you can and cannot buy. So is Barnes and Noble. So a lot of these places, because they're starting to figure out, wait a minute, these fucking slaves are figuring shit out. So what do? They keep you ignorant. You can still get one of these pretty easily. But there's going to be a time, you mark my words, there's going to be a time when it's going to be hard to get one of these. And it's not for what you think. At all. Uh-oh. Got some soup starting to, I got to go take care of the soup. All right, I'm going to talk to you guys later. That's 2 hours and 46 minutes later. I'm still rambling. So I appreciate it. Oh, wait, before we do this, let's go take a look over here and see if there's anything of interest here. Nope. All right. Looks like pretty much, like I said, this is not the regular crowd over here. This is not the crowd of muggles. I don't know who I'm talking to because I don't know a lot of you people. Some of you actually found me on Facebook. That's cool. Crouton Ramon will absolutely, if you send me a friend request, I will take it. I don't unfriend anybody. I don't delete comments. I don't do any of that stuff. So if you want to come say hi over on Facebook, but if you're not on Facebook, don't get on Facebook, right? Facebook's a cesspool and it's a psyop to get them to see. They just want to see how much information can we get out of this person, right? Again, they didn't come and steal it from you. They didn't come and spy on it. You'll post pictures of your kids. You'll post pictures of whatever life event is it. You'll tell them where you're from. You'll tell them what job you have. You'll tell them everything on your social media, right? Crouton Ramon, that ain't my name, and you know it. Crouton Ramon, one more time, is a living individual whose consent is of record. I got to write them a letter. What did I consent to again? I didn't realize I had consented to something. It says here on this document. So what am I giving consent to? Because honest to God, I'm ignorant. I don't know. I think I know, but let's ask these guys what they have to say about it. And you should see the lawyer that handled my case. I talked to her a couple of times on the phone, and she was because she's the one that handled my paperwork to get the trademark and so forth. Holy God, this woman had a crazily sexy voice, like just crazy sexy voice on the phone. And it used to crack me up because when I used to be a DJ, we used to do radio plays and stuff. And there was this woman that worked at, I think it was Morton Tire Call. and a secretary. And I mean, she just had the kind of voice that just breathy, and I mean, just I don't know what you consider a sexy voice, but not necessarily an accent or anything, but just a sexy female voice. Um, that lawyer had one also. I find it amusing. But anyway, I'm going to try and call her back and be like, what did I consent to? I don't think I can get her, but I'll know as soon as I hear her on the phone, I'll know if it's her or not, because she had a signature, ridiculously sexy voice. But anyway, the idea being is that, yeah, right? What did I consent to? I don't know. I mean, and I'm not even being facetious. I don't know what that refers to in particular. I can think of a bunch of things that it possibly could, but let's find out. Again, write a letter and find out. Before you do all of this stuff, and before you get into your, I'm the authorized representative for this dead person and blah blah, and then I'm not a legal fiction, and why don't you just ask some questions ahead of time, and then inform them that excuse me, I'm a living person, not a dead thing. Excuse me, I don't need warding. Excuse me, you don't get to you don't get to administer my estate without my consent. You don't get to let's skip all the you don't get to. How about just what you are instead of what you aren't, or what they can't do? What can they do? Well, they can recognize the fact that you're a living individual, and not just any living individual, a man, a living man, flesh and blood, that you are a living person. And again, I went through this. Just because persons can be men, but right, but not necessarily. Right? Men can be persons. Persons can also be corporations. Persons can be states. Persons can be a lot of different things. Living individuals can be a lot of different things. Got to know what the words mean. So I've talked enough. All right. E pluribus unum. Educate yourself. Educate others. I'll be back again here soon. I've got plenty more stuff to go over, and I will eventually get around to a whole video where all I talk about is the allegory that is the Lord of the Rings. Where I that's going to take a lot of work, but I mean, Tolkien knew what the fuck was up, and he was obviously a Mason, or in one of the brotherhoods. I don't know if he was a Ruscatarian or a fucking what, but I mean, he obviously had it, and he told you the whole story from get go, in allegory, while making up his own languages at the same time. Freaking awesome. All right. Also, tarot deck, especially the major arcana. You should know those cards and understand what's on those cards. Oh no, that's it. No, I'm telling you, that is archetype. That is the hero with 1,000 faces on each one of those cards. Those are the archetypes: the Hierophant, the fool, the and then once you get to know those archetypes, you'll see them in the movies because they present them to you. I'll make more. Anyway, there's plenty more stuff coming. I'm getting a little tired of this thing. I'll let you know as things go, as I get responses, or more than likely non-responses. But I have been told that I am confident, or I am confident that I will be out, as it were, this year. Because it is not an instant thing. But the idea is that and then once you get out, I don't think I'll be able to make videos like this. I'm not sure. I don't know how much of that is conspiracy theory and bullshit, and how much of it is actual. But I'm pretty sure. And now I understand too, is that once you get out, yeah, you shut your fucking mouth, and right. I'm not leading a slave rebellion. I'm not right. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm not, because it's impossible. As you see, these people driving around with masks on their face, you can't. That programming is so much more potent than the knowledge or information or even mathematics. When I was amazed when I would show people mathematics, and they still believe the authority over fucking math. Math is the highest authority. Done. No wiggle room. Right? Math is the truth. Math is law. Law is God. God is law. Anyhow, the point being is that there is plenty more to go, and I am getting a little tired of making video after video around this particular issue. But it is a big issue, and there's a lot to understand. Like even just the one word, right? That is a huge concept. Huge. A long time to wrap your mind around. What's the difference between equity and law? There's a difference. Right? Equity delights in law. Equity delights in fairness, but it will not aid a volunteer. Anyhow, just that much, right? But and words, this is all fun, and then I probably can do some book reviews, and there's a lot more on health every time I turn around. There's something new. Oh, and did I tell you about this? I did tell you about this, but let's find out more about this. Find out about that. That's just regular old, plain old, regular old Lugol's, which is simple iodine. Hugely important for your health. And again, as I was explaining to my girlfriend, who I'm going to wind up, or well, she is. Well, we both are, but I mean, we're going to wind up spending like $12,000 to $16,000 for a elective surgery, because if you don't have your health, you don't have wealth. I know so many guys that are very, very wealthy, but they ain't healthy, and so they spend all their wealth trying to get healthy because they allowed their health to disintegrate because of sugar. I mean, their love for sugar and alcohol and shit food that was shit, and that finally destroyed their health. And now they're trying to get their health back, and they're finding out that, yeah, once you get to a certain point, it's hard to get your health back. So with my girlfriend, we're going to try and make it so that she hasn't gotten to the point where it's going to be hard to get her health back. But if she waits too much longer, it might get to that point. And again, then I have to spend all my time on health. Anyway, we're going to have Super Pookie and the Dragons Tuesday night social club starting probably this summer. I'm going to say, look for that, and that's going to be a ton of fun. I guarantee it. We got plans. But meantime, get your paperwork done. Educate yourself. Educate others. It's time to go on the attack. It's time to quit waiting for them to come save you. It's time to quit waiting for Trump to fix everything, or the Jesus, or whoever you think is coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to save you, right? God helps those who help themselves. I can help those who will help themselves. But all I can do is show you. All I can do is point stuff out. All I can do is give you words and documents and books and so forth. I can't read them for you. I can't do your push-ups for you. I can't go to the gym for you. I can't feed you. I can't do any of that stuff. Well, I can feed you bread. I can feed you fish and loaves. But I can't even make sure that you eat them, right? But I can make sure that you get the fishes and loaves. And then once you get the fishes and loaves, you can give fishes and loaves to other people, and so on and so forth. And then it spreads. Our job right now, because they've got all the guns and clubs, is make another generation and educate that generation. And then don't be a dumbass like me, because I was programmed from an early, you don't want to have lots of kids. You want to have lots of kids. You want to have lots of children. Are the greatest joy. And you'll notice that all the big families, all the big names that you've heard of, and even just politicians and so forth, they all have huge families, 8 kids, 7 kids, 6 kids. But, you only have 1 or 2, because you don't want to be outbred. They don't want you to outbreed them. Therefore, they did the Negro Project, which morphed into Planned Parenthood. And yeah, they got the Negroes not having more than 1 or 2 babies. Used to be black families were huge. 8, 10, 12, 14. Huge. Oh, not anymore. Okay, so the idea was to get this knowledge, be able to educate your kids with this knowledge. Sorry, your children with this knowledge. Make a couple more generations, and we'll have more guns and clubs than they do. And we'll be of a mind that can take them down. Well, that's going to happen sooner than later. It's not going to take 2 or 3 generations. But believe me, they will do everything they can once they... Even when we kick over the sandcastle, and their sandcastle is about to get kicked over, and they know it, they're still going to scramble, and a few of them will get away. The Lord of the Rings tells you about that also. There's always going to be one. You don't get them all, and they'll go underground for however long it takes and gather their strength, lick their wounds, and come back. All right, so we got to be ever vigilant, right? I mean, constant and never-ending vigilance, because they will always try. And you now see how evil these people are. Given the tiniest chance, what did they do, right? Suddenly you're locked in your house and you can't go to work, right? And we only gave them that much. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, because they understand how this thing works. And once now you realize you've been tricked, well, too late. Most of you won't admit you were tricked in the first place, and they know that, how to win friends and influence people. And secondly, there are a lot of people that still don't even realize that they've been tricked in the first place. Now, the thing is, some of you guys have figured out you've been tricked. Now, what are you going to do about it? I suggest you don't do nothing. Okay, Crime Stoppers, enough. I've gone on, we're going on 3 hours again. I can't relate 3 hours. It just blows my mind. And what I notice is that if I make short ones, you guys don't watch the short ones. You only watch the long ones. So 2 times speed. If you need links, let me know. And but I mean, they're here in the chat, and they'll be right. So talk to you guys soon. E pluribus unum. Educate self, educate others. Be of good cheer. We're winning this thing, right? We're winning this thing. So don't give up hope before you're gonna. Let's just say you're gonna have huge "I told you so"s coming up. Promise.